Matter of fact, there we go. I apologize. I'm back in the studio. I was talking and you couldn't hear me, but you can hear me now. I'm back in the studio. Glad to be back in the studio. I was in Philadelphia for a couple of days. I actually took a little bit of a break so I can catch a breather for a couple of days. But we back and we're going to do our season's report card of the New York Knicks. So let's get busy. All right, here we go. And we got some guys in the video chat. We wasn't able to use the appear in while I was in Philadelphia because I didn't have the right technology with me. Actually, I had the right technology. I just couldn't get it right at the moment. But we got Nate. We got Guillermo in the chat. And we're going to talk about these New York Knicks and our season report card. Before we even get to it, though, we'll just, quickly just kind of say what's up. Say what's up to the guys. Say what's up to everybody. If you want to join the appear in, you can see at the top of the screen, it says appear.in/NBK. Not yet, but soon we'll be able to call in 516-405-2246 and, be able to talk. So let's get to our video chat and have guys, just say a couple of words, quick words about the season, just as an introduction, and then we'll go ahead and get to our season's report card. So you see we got Nate up here, we got Guillermo up here. Nate, what's good, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I know you said you thought I was gone,
Hey, man, we have so many shows, man. We got spoiled to you, so yeah, it's good to be back on and talking to you.
Yeah, I had to take a little bit of a break.
Hey, man, we all got to do it. Not a problem.
I had to take a little bit of a break and catch a breather,
Hey, I know you said that you haven't been watching a lot of the playoffs, man, just scores. But I'll tell you what, man, if you get a chance, watch the Celtics play. Man, dude, Kyrie is really locked in on defense, man.
Okay.
He looks a lot better of a defender than I give him credit for in these playoffs. And, I mean, I give a lot of credit to Brad Stevens. I mean, he had a play where he ran down a block. He blocked a shot off the glass. I don't think I've ever seen Kyrie do that. So, I mean, hopefully that's a sign of, if he is coming to New York, he can bring some of those good defensive tendencies. But I've been really impressed with him in the playoffs. Very active defender. So
that's good. That's great to hear. You know what I'm saying? If indeed he's coming to New York City, that's exactly what we want from him.
Especially at the point guard.
You know what I mean? That's exactly what we want. So let's hope that it let's hope that it continues. And if he comes to New York, he brings that same mentality with him. Look, he's in Boston where that's expected. It's just expected of him. And if he doesn't bring it, it could be an issue. So that's a good thing because that means he's learning, he's learning some good tendencies while he's in Boston, and then he can bring it to New York. Maybe, hopefully, he's learning, those leadership skills and all of that. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Right now, we're gonna finally finish off the season, and after we finish off the season with this season report card, then we're gonna go and in the next show we're gonna do a off-season kickoff. So let's not get with it. Let's talk to Guillermo. See what Guillermo wants to say real quick. There you go, Guillermo. What's good, man?
Yo, it was good, Sim. It was good, chat. It was good, Nate. Yeah, man. Good to see you back, man. And to actually speak on what Nate said on the opposite side is good to see what KD did in the playoffs. I know we're not talking about the teams, but all the media was like, oh, KD got locked down by Beverly, blah blah blah, and in the next game he basically played his game, which was get down on the post a little bit more to offset Beverly's perimeter defense, stuff like that, and the fact that he was talking about my game, or let's play our game, which is spread the ball around, which I love. Hopefully Fizdale's taking notice, and he's drawing up a game plan for next year. Everyone gets on me for me grading Fizdale, so I'm not even gonna grade Fizdale tonight. I'm just gonna say incomplete.
Well,
but
this is the night to do it. This is the night to do it.
Sim, I'm with you. I get killed on your videos for assessing what I see on a night-to-night basis, and I always premise it by saying I don't want this guy fired. Give him another year, but I'm disappointed or I'm happy with the small things I see here and there. But definitely, and we got to get to especially the 3 draft picks, because they're making it's weird, because it's like it's flipped in terms of how people see value. Like before, it was, oh yeah, Knox is a guy, Trier's a nice pickup, and Mitchell, he could develop into something. And it's weird when you look at Bleacher Report and all these media outlets. It's like a switch where now Mitchell Robinson is being looked at as like the star prize. Trier, because of his sheer talent as like a shooting 2-guard kind of player, and Knox is coming at the end. So
they did a redraft.
Ready to
like number 5.
Guys, man. It's very interesting. And ended up at the end of the season.
Right. And I don't know. I hopefully tonight we'll be able to do some good, fair assessments. We'll see what the YouTube chat thinks about it. And be able to grade them fair. You know what I mean? Be able to grade them fair and see what happens, see where it goes from there. I'm pretty sure that the New York Knicks, David Fizdale, Scott Perry, and those guys took everything into consideration when grading them or telling them how they felt about the season and all that stuff. So,
hey, Sim, sorry to cut you off. Isaiah's asking for you to let him in. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. It's Isaiah. Let's see what Isaiah has to say. Isaiah, you there?
Hey, what's up, son?
What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? It's been a minute. How you been?
Good. Can you turn that down in the back, son?
Yeah, I already turned it down.
Every night, man.
It's not every night, man. We don't do that.
Every single night. What do you mean, don't?
Thank you, sir.
Mark with 2.0.
Hey, look, I missed y'all too.
It happens every single night, man. You can't say that.
Yo, Sam, I didn't miss the hip hop channel, right? I didn't miss it, right?
No. This Thursday is when I'm going. It's going to be the first one. This Thursday.
Hey, shout out to Illmatic. Is it today the 25th anniversary?
25th anniversary of Illmatic. That's it. That's
beautiful, man. Congratulations to this one before we talk. This congratulations to Nas, man. 25 years.
No doubt.
That's amazing.
That's big stuff.
Regardless if you're a fan or not, that's amazing.
That's big stuff. 1994.
Nas better than Jay-Z.
Not to. I'm about to.
Okay. So get it. We can't get. I mean, obviously, you know that I'm a Nas fan, right? So of course I believe that Nas is better than Jay-Z, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that disagree with me. That's okay. They're probably buffoons, but whatever.
Thank you.
Okay. But we've got to that debate till we get to the hip hop channel, because if we start that debate now, it'll be crazy. It's going to explode.
I was 1, Sim. I barely was even 1 when Illmatic came on.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Hey,
let me tell you something. A very close friend of mine, me and him, we used to have. You talk about arguing about. He's a crazy Jay-Z fan. Of course, I'm a huge Nas fan, and we would have 2-hour long arguments about who is better between Jay-Z and Nas. I mean, and I'm not talking about just like friendly arguments. We would actually get into yelling matches, and there's no other people around. It's just me and him yelling matches about this. Sometimes that's ridiculous. I'll admit it. Sometimes it's ridiculous to have such a crazy argument about 2 guys that don't even know who you are, but it was like that, man.
That's just New York intensity, man. Like, that's how we act. If you go to other places and they like, dude, why are you so passionate about it? It's like, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, you can't help it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get to this, man. Let's Let's start to break down the Knicks season. We're going to start with the players. Okay, we're going to start with the players. We're going to cover 3 categories. We're going to do the players, the coach, then the front office. All right? And that's where we're going to go. And when I come up on the screen, you're going to see some things that I already believe up on the screen. You'll see their stats. You'll see some things that I believe. And we'll talk about it, and then we'll give them a grade. All right? Then we'll give them a grade. So let's begin. We're going to talk about Kevin Knox. All right? Our first-round draft pick for this year, for our 2018 first-round draft pick, Kevin Knox, 19 years old. Played 1 year in college. Let's take a look at him. Let's talk about him. Kevin Knox, ladies and gentlemen. He averaged 12.8 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game. You know, he averaged like 1 assist a game or something like that as well. 1.1, 1.2 assists per game. He shot 37% from the field. Low field goal percentage. Say that. He also shot 34.3% from 3. That's Kevin Knox. My strengths for Kevin Knox. These are my strengths for him. I believe that he shows offensive potential. Right? There was a lot of people from the beginning of the season, or not the beginning of the season, when he was first drafted, and we've seen him play in the summer league, and then he came in, training camp and things. And I caught a lot of flack from people by saying I thought he was more versatile and had a deeper repertoire than Kristaps Porzingis. I still think he does things that Kristaps Porzingis cannot do. Mainly, 1, advance the ball up the floor off of a rebound. And I'm pretty sure people will, argue with me. Whatever, it doesn't matter anymore because KP is not here. But I think he has a lot of offensive potential. I like the fact that he is multi-positional. Right? He can play the 3, he can play the 4, and maybe even in some lineups, he'll be able to play the 2. Right? If there's a time when we have a really, really long lineup on the floor. I also like the kid's character. Right? I think earlier in the season he caught some bad press because he wasn't playing well, and I forgot what the headline was, but there was a headline in the paper, in the New York Post about Kevin Knox, and he came out the next night and killed it, right? And then he started a streak of playing well. He didn't, respond negatively or have anything negative to say. He just came out and showed it on the court. You gotta love that. You gotta respect that about him. You know what I'm saying? You got to. So I think it's good that he handled bad press. Now, what I did is for the and development needs, I added 3 things, but there's, of course, more things. I also like the fact that he came on at the end of the season. Right? At the end of the season when, it was a long season for him. Kevin Knox played a lot of minutes, a lot of games this season for a rookie. I mean, I'm sure there's rookies that played 82 games before, but, he's played a lot of games. And he was able to get stronger as the season went on and get better as the season went on. So to me, that's very, very encouraging for Kevin Knox. Very encouraging. I also like the fact that he's coachable, right? He comes in and he's humble. I think that's very positive, for a young guy coming into the league. Okay. Does he need to improve? Obviously, his defense. That's one of the first areas that I've got to point out. When we did the quarterly, the half-season grades, he was almost last in the league in defensive efficiency, I believe it was. Right? And that was, I was like, whoa, that's a tough deal right there for him to be last in the league in defensive efficiency. And I know he's a rookie coming into the league, but you'd like to see him to be able to play a little bit more defense. But anyway, that's someplace he needs to improve. Rebounding. He averaged 4.5 rebounds per game. I really want to see Kevin Knox, for his career, end up averaging 9 to 10 rebounds a game. I think that he can, and I think that he should. All right. Obviously, it's his rookie year, so we've got to give him a little bit of leadway, right? We got to give him some leadway. But I'd like to see him improve his rebounding. And I think improving his rebounding also it goes back to the next thing I have on the list, which is him being assertiveness. And we heard about it all season long, right? That he just wasn't assertive enough when he was on the floor, right? Times, and this was the rap on him coming out of college, that he wasn't always assertive. He would kind of get lost in games where he would fade away and you didn't know, where's Kevin Knox? So I think that is, that's why I am with him. Those are his strengths. Those, I believe, are his developmental needs. I want to know what you guys think about it. All right. Guillermo, what do you think about that?
It's weird with Knox. When you draft a guy like that, right? Is he, a self-starter? I think these are some of the things that you have to look at. When you got him from Kentucky, he's a guy who plays off ball. He does have problems with awareness and focus, which I think are things that he can work on. But when people say that he has to be more aggressive, well, he's a guy who largely plays off ball. And like I said, I keep harping on the system. It's a guy like that. You can zap his confidence if you put him in a system that doesn't speak to his strengths, especially as a rookie and when he's not a self-starter. So, I do put some of the blame on the system, offensively at least. I think he has to get better footwork when he's driving to the basket, to stop giving up, to develop a bit of footwork to the basket. When he's driving from his right, to not necessarily just give up just because he's going to the middle. He likes to do that arm thing where he kind of thinks he's like Durant, kind of, keeps it up here and tries to make the ugly layup, stuff like that. He did develop a nice little floater. You can work on that. But, I think that, one, the system has to be a little bit predicated more to his strengths, which I hope Fizdale's going to do next year. But I think the main thing, like you said, Sim, like I said, footwork and awareness. There's no excuse that you should be that inept on defense and knowing where the ball is. Too many times you see him as like his head is in the clouds. And I think that if, Fizdale and himself, I'm not put on Fizdale, but he himself has to be like, look, I can't be this inept on defense. I have to know where the ball is. I at least have to have my body in the right place when plays are being made. So that's what I hope for.
Right.
Offensively, if you're talking about aggressive, I've seen him this year, Sim. It's weird. He can shoot over people, he has like a weird shot, especially when he's shooting from the wings, the three wings, where it's like he can shoot over people, which is a great trait to have. So, I think that's aggressive, if that makes sense. But again, he's a guy who comes off screens and curls and all that stuff. So hopefully we see that next year and we see him being more aggressive in that space. He's not going to handle the ball like LeBron and stuff like that. Like when people say they want to be that aggressive, that's just not his game. So, in situations, I want him to be more aware than aggressive and make smart decisions than just go up there and throw the ball up and, try to draw fouls and stuff like that.
Okay. Nate? Nate, you there? I guess Nate's not there. We'll get back to him.
Nate. Something coming to you.
I'll get back to him. Isaiah, what do you think?
Hey, what's up, Sim?
Kevin Knox, where you at with it?
Kevin Knox, I'm gonna give him a lot of leeway this season. I mean, I think you made it specifically. He's 19, so there's a lot of things that He's 19. He has a small frame right now. He's not built for it right now. And I agree with Guillermo a lot about the system. How Kevin Knox, could have provided a lot more if he was in a better system, defensive wise. I think hopefully this season, I'm not really caring about the offense because I can see the offense coming in. I'd rather see him work on his defense this year in his feet, and his technique, that I hope that's what he's working on this summer. I don't really care about the scoring for him this offseason. I'd rather see him work on the defense. But, again, he was the ninth pick. He's 19. I mean, if you were expecting him to come out and be like averaging, like you thinking he's going to be Donovan Mitchell, that just wasn't going to be the case. He was going to be hot and cold this season. He was going to go through streaks where you'd be like, wow, he's 19. Then there's going to be streaks where you'd be like, wow, he's 19. So, again, I mean, there's not that much to me that you can say that you can't be surprised about. I agree with you, too. I want him to average at least 10 rebounds. He can. He can.
I think
that's the big thing. He can.
I think he can, and he should. That's my opinion.
He should.
I think
because I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to compare him to Porzingis, but that was one of my biggest that really peed me off with Porzingis is that he stunk at rebounding. It really stunk at it, and that really made me mad. But I think Kevin Knox can do it. So you know what? I don't know if we're grading yet, but he gets a B in my book.
Well, we haven't put any grades up yet.
Oh, okay.
We were going to talk about that and kind of look at what we think grades would be for him. I want to hear from Nate, and then we'll go around and get some grades.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep, can hear you.
Yeah, Kevin Knox, man, 19-year-old. I think a lot of us had really high expectations of this guy. Probably needed to be more realistic with his offensive repertoire. I think the two things that I really liked from his offensive game was the fact is that he did have a little bit of a floater inside. I thought that he did a really good job of perfecting that. Also, too, at times he did show assertiveness, but it wasn't as consistent as we wanted to see.
Sure.
Obviously, defense, he's got to get better defender. I mean, he's too athletic and too long to be a bad defender. Rebounding, I agree with you, Sam. He's got to be a stronger rebounder because here's the thing, and this is just my little thing about this, is if we don't get Zion, I think they're going to move Kevin Knox to the 4 because I think that they think Kevin Durant will play the 3. That's just my opinion. So I think he's got to be a stronger rebounder to go along with Mitch or whoever else we put at center, whether it's DeAndre or whatever. So he's got to become a stronger rebounder, and he's got to become a better defender. But overall, I mean, for a 19-year-old to average 12 points, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
It was double digits.
Not bad at all.
So, think about it. A lot of his shots were kind of forced. So I think, and a lot of his shots were forced, Sim. So I think if he just takes his time and gets to his right shooting spots, he's going to be a better player.
Now, why do you say a lot of his shots were forced?
Well, because when you watch games with him, it looked like he was forcing shots when there were people that were in his face a lot of times. I mean, like he would just take up shots and think that he could shoot it over those defenders. And I think if he maybe worked more on his game to get to the basket, maybe have a little more moves, I'd like to see him work on a post game because I think he could be a pretty good post player if he develops something. But I don't know. I just felt like his shots were forced at times. Like I think he wasn't set right on the shot. He was kind of off balance a lot. And I think that contributed to a lot of his bad shooting.
Okay.
I think he took a lot of bad shots, so he needs to work on his get spots and knowing what he can hit.
Okay. And I wonder if some of that is he's still how do I want to say, he's still becoming, he's got to work on his balance. He's got to work on his strength.
Yeah.
His strength.
He's 19. He's 19 years old, man. I mean, he's got a bright future. Just got to be patient with him.
Yeah. So, all right. So, what do you give him?
Honestly, Kevin Knox, I give him a C.
You give him a C.
I thought his game was average. Could have shot better percentage. Defense, if it was just overall defense, it'd be a D. But I think an overall C. He did come up in games and make plays, and showed some ability to rebound and put the basket in the hole. So I give him a C.
Okay. Isaiah, what do you give him?
Hey Sam, can I say one thing? I gotta apologize to Doc Rivers. before I say something, because I came onto your show like a year, like last summer, and I said he was overrated. And I have to apologize to Doc Rivers. He's been a hell of a coach this series.
All right.
But yeah, I'll give Kevin Knox C+ to a B.
You said C+ to a B.
Yeah, because defense is really what killed him, and I agree with Nate with the shot selection. A lot of his shots were definitely off balance, and like he just became a chucker sometimes in the games. But I'll probably go C+.
Okay. Guillermo, what do you give him?
I would give him a C+. And it's actually interesting. That actually goes counter to what you guys are saying. I'm looking at the NBA stats right now. And actually, with a defender 2 to 4 feet away from him, which is considered tight, he actually has a 42.9%. Field goal shooting is 43.6, which, if you look at that, like I said, he has a weird knack for being able to shoot with a defender kind of in his face. So I think that's like a weird trait that's great. Some scorers just have a weird go-to move. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he has to make it as a go-to. I do think that he's made some bad decisions on offense, but be able to shoot in the defender's face, I think is one of his strong traits versus it being a weakness. 42.9%. That's excellent. That's really good. So yeah, I agree. He has to work on some things. My biggest problem is not necessarily offense outside of driving and footwork. I think the awareness on defense and keeping that motor up. Look, if you're not scoring, don't be a negative on defense. Put all your energy into defense and get the easy buckets or the easy passes to kind of give you confidence to go. Offset whatever you're doing on a bad night offensively with defense. I think that Knox has to work in that. He's 19 years old. He's young. I don't think he's actually put in that position to succeed a lot of times. But for what we saw, I still think there's development. But I think there's hope for him to become a capable scorer in the NBA. So. I give him a C+. I don't want to be too harsh on him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I think I'm right around with you guys. I'm looking in the chat. I see some people.
They said I'm on drugs.
Oh my God, Isaiah Guerrero on drugs because they gave him a C+.
Hey, Guillermo, when we talk about Guillermo,
this is the one thing that I want people to understand, right? You're grading his development on where he is. Okay, you're not comparing him to the best players in the league, right? So you can't say, oh, if Kevin Durant gets an A+, how can such and such get the same thing? Because this is not. You're comparing this person on.
Guillermo, we're on drugs. I hate it. So
on where they are as a player, right? If you're giving somebody a C or a C+, you're giving him a lot of room to grow, but you're not smacking him, right? I agree with a C+, and I'm going with a C+. I agree, right? I agree with.
So similar drug. I gave the kid credit, be able to shoot in traffic, and I gave you a stat, not you, Sim. And it's like no matter what you do, sometimes in this chat, you can give people stats, even support them. And yet I'm on drugs because I'm not giving this kid what a B+, an A. Like the kid was not, not to say what we're giving, but look at guys like Shai Gilgeous. I can't pronounce his name. Shai Gil, whatever his name is.
Call him SGA.
SGA.
Just Alexander.
You know what I mean? Do you compare not in terms of development and what you saw? Like, and Shai was not even considered that high of a prospect, necessarily higher than Knox at Kentucky, right? But look at Knox. This is a guy you saw great development. If anything, you kind of saw him fade out as the season progressed. So why is it? I would love whoever just said we're on drugs. Why is a C+ not a good grade?
You know what?
Or proper grade.
I think C+ is a good grade for Kevin Knox. You know what I'm saying? I think it's I think it's a good grade.
I love this chat, man.
You know what I mean? It's a good grade for Kevin Knox.
We're on drugs.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Everyone's going to have their opinions. Nothing we can do about that. Everybody's going to have their opinions about
Sim,
what
can
a
I say
player
one
could
thing?
be or should be.
I love it, man.
Yep. Yeah, what's up, Nate? Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, just to kind of harp what you guys were saying. I mean, the reality is that almost every rookie is going to be around a C grade. I mean, unless you're rookie of the year, you're going to probably get a B- grade at the best or a B+. So I think, like you said, a C is definitely within the range to improve. And that's all these rookies. They could be as great as they are in the first year and be terrible the next year.
Yep.
We've seen that a lot. That's why it doesn't really matter who wins Rookie of the Year, because can they do it in continuous years?
Right.
They can look great in one year and then look like crap the next year. So who knows?
Donovan Mitchell.
So I think people that say, C plus, I gave a C. C is more realistic. Because he really didn't come on until the end. He was very disappointing early on and really was inconsistent most throughout. But I believe that's a rookie for you.
But I think the
rookies
fact
are going to be that way.
But I think the fact that
these aren't going to be guys here.
Yeah, I think the fact that he
people need to realize.
I think the fact that he came on at the end of the year after going through a long season is the fact why, in my opinion, that you can give him a plus. All right, let's move on from there. Let's talk about another rookie. All right, we're going to talk about another rookie. Mitch Robinson. All right, we're going to talk about Mitchell Robinson. As we know, Mitchell Robinson came into the league without playing basketball in about a year. At least not playing organized basketball in a year. And most of us, including myself, we thought that Mitchell Robinson was going to spend a lot of time in the G League. Okay? That's what we thought. We didn't think he was going to be able to be strong enough to play in the league or to play consistent minutes in the league. He proved us all wrong. He proved the New York Knicks brass wrong. He averaged 7.3 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, 2.4 blocks per game, which is good for second in the league, and shot 69.4% from the field. Right now, those are his season's averages, but from the beginning of the season, he didn't play a lot of minutes. Then he had an injury, and he wasn't as confident. He probably had to get in shape a little bit, right? Get used to playing in the NBA, get used to the speed, all that kind of stuff. During the end of the season, I didn't average out his last, let's say 20 games or whatever it is, but I'm pretty positive that it was, way better than this, than the 7.3 points and 4.4 rebounds per game. So when I look at some of his strengths, obviously his ability to block shots, second in the league in blocks. And that was without playing many minutes in the beginning of the season, averaging about 20 minutes a game, 21, 22 minutes a game. It went up towards the end of the season, of course. Right? But for him to average 2.4 blocks per game and be second in the league, what a feat.
That's smart.
What a feat for a rookie. You know what I'm saying? That's a great feat for a rookie. He shows leadership. David Fisdale talked about it at the end of in his wrap up at the end of the season, that Mitchell Robinson shows leadership. He shows that he is a leader. He's not afraid to tell people, "Hey, share the ball, share the game." Right? He's not afraid to get on people when they're not doing what they're supposed to do defensively. Those are great. That's a great character for a guy who's just 20 years old and is playing as a rookie in the league. Not afraid to lead his team. So you got to give it up. You got to give it up for Mitch Robinson. Got to give it up. And then, of course, he's super athletic. Super athletic. And let me add to that, raw. He is raw. Right? When he runs around on the court, he looks like a kid that is uncoordinated sometimes. His arms are flailing everywhere. He has just enough coordination and footwork to do the things that he needs to do on the floor. You know what I'm saying? But you talk about a guy being raw. He's very raw, and he was able to do the things that he did being raw. Developmental needs. He's got to develop his body. We know this, right? He's a young kid, and you can see the room for growth in his body. You can see how he is able to, where he's going to be able to grow. You know what I'm saying? You can see it where he's going to be able to grow. His shoulders are wide. He's going to grow into that. He's going to grow into that. He's got to develop an offensive game. Right now, his offensive game is basically, I'm going to get a rebound and put it back. I might be able to get a slash to the basket every now and again. And you're going to catch me with a couple of oops. That's his offensive game right now. And that's okay. But that's his game, So he's got to, maybe learn how to score a little bit in the post. Maybe expand his game out, push it out to the free throw line. He can hit free throws, right? He can knock down his free throws, which is good for a big man. A lot of big men come into the league and they can't hit free throws. So he's got a nice touch from the free throw line. If he can learn to knock down that mid-range, that free throw line shot, the elbow shot, or something like that, it's going to help his game, and it will also help the New York Knicks. Right? And then he's just got to learn the game. Right? He's basically a high school kid. He's got to learn the game. You know what I mean? He's got to learn the game. And, there's nothing wrong with that at all. All right, so I want to know what you guys think about Mitch and how you feel about Mitch. And, let's see what's up. All right, Isaiah, I'm coming to you, man.
Go
ahead, man.
What's going on? Mitchell Robinson.
Robinson.
What more can you say about this kid, man? He's a hard worker. When I watched the David Fisdale interview, I was really happy to hear that he's talking. And he's not scared to tell guys that you need to share the ball. We're going to need that in the future. Again, there's not that much negative you can say about him. This kid really might be Defensive Player of the Year. And by the next 3 or 4 years, he will be a first all-team defensive center. He's amazing. He could cover a lot of ground. I'll say this, though, Sim. Watching the playoffs and watching these centers like that, the Jarrett Allens, the Rudy Goberts, I agree with you. He has to get an offensive game. He has to get somewhat decent. He has to get a somewhat mid-range shot, because right now what I see with Rudy Gobert and like Jarrett Allen, they're just abusing them right now. But the future's so bright for this kid, and he doesn't even know what's going on yet. That's the scariest part. I love it. He gets a B+. I don't care if we didn't grade it yet. B+.
You can at least, for the sake of the show, wait till we get to that part.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I couldn't control myself. I couldn't help it.
Everybody wants to jump the gun. Is that what you tell your girl too?
Oh, come on, man.
I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go there. Sorry about that. My bad. That was out of bounds. Bring the girl. Yo, that was out of bounds. That was out of bounds. I went out of bounds. My bad.
Look, Sim.
I went out of bounds. My bad.
Yo, Sim, if we was in the streets right now, I would have to do it. I would have to check you, Sim. But
my bad. My bad. I went out of bounds.
Use my man $100 grand. It's all good. We're going to squash the beef right now.
I bet.
We can't have black on black violence.
I bet.
We're going to squash the beef right now. Don't worry.
My bad. I'm just saying.
It's all right. Don't let it happen again, man. I don't want to take that bucket hat off. I don't want to take the bucket hat off.
I got you. I went out of bounds on that one. I'm going to admit it. My bad, chat. My bad.
Look,
my bad.
Yo, you lucky my girl not here. She would have handled it for me. I don't even got to do nothing. I don't even do nothing. I don't got to do nothing.
I don't even want to know what would have been said if your girl was here. You know what I'm saying? Because you might have been ready. I don't know. I ain't going to say. Hey,
listen, anyway. Man. I'm 6'6". I'm Guillermo's height on a good day. I'm mad.
All right, man. Let's get around to see. My man right here, I forgot your name with the Knicks hat on. What's your name again?
It's Mark, man.
Mark, that's right. Mark. What's going on, Mark?
What's up, buddy?
So what's your take on Mitchell Robinson?
Well, I love this kid. I love this kid, man, and I feel so lucky to have snagged him in the draft so far back, and how many that draft went off today, we all know somebody would have jumped in much earlier for him. And as far as his development, I love how far he's come in such a short period of time. Like if you go from his McDonald All-American career, sitting out his college, and then being picked up by the Knicks here, there's been that time in between where he hasn't physically been on the court playing, but I know he was practicing and working out and all that. But I can't tell you what a snag this kid is, man. I'm sure everybody in the chat agrees that we got a diamond right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody agrees about. I'm pretty sure everybody agrees 100%.
Yeah, he's an easy one. He's an easy one. Kevin Knox is, a little bit younger and still just, maturing. I'm sorry I missed that first part on him, but he's another young man. You just mentioned how you want to see his frame fill out a little bit more and pack on some muscle. Mm-hmm. When Knox does that too and matures a little bit, we're really super lucky to have him. And I think that as time turns the page, we're going to find that out. Yeah, he got shoved around a little bit because he's a kid. He's got his kid's body. Wait till he starts growing into his man's body, and you'll see a lot less people pushing him around on the block and also on the basketball court. That's for sure.
I definitely agree. And yeah. Listen, we're gonna talk about our brass, our front office, but they did a great job in getting Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Knox too.
They did, man. They did beautiful.
Yeah, they did a great job. All right, let me see. Let's get around. Nate, go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, man. I think the thing about Mitch Robinson that a lot of people don't talk about is that when this season started, I think a lot of people thought that he would probably be the most immature on the team. And actually, according to Fizdale, he's probably one of our best leaders. So kudos to him. Here's the thing about Mitch Robinson. Sim, you coach, I've coached. He's just a player you want to coach, that you want to see get better and better throughout. And I've always seen improvement with him. Like he just looks like every time he comes out there and plays better. Like he learns from his mistakes and he rarely makes a lot of them. He just does his thing, and I appreciate that. For a player so young that didn't play for a whole year. I mean, people don't realize how hard it is to not play for a whole year and then just come out to the scene and be arguably one of the best untalked about rookies in the NBA.
Right.
I don't believe people talk about him enough, because he doesn't put up the points, but just the fact how poised he is, the defense he brings, the athleticism. I mean, the ceiling is high for this guy. And you know what? He reminds me a lot of Anthony Davis, man. He can definitely develop into an Anthony Davis type if he can develop a jump shot.
See, I don't know that I agree with that he's going to turn into an Anthony Davis type, because I don't know that Mitchell Robinson is going to ever be a ball handler. That Anthony Davis can be a ball handler. I mean, Anthony Davis grew up as a ball handler.
Ball handle. I mean, he can do some of the things Anthony Davis can. I think he's a better He can be a better defender than Anthony Davis in the long run. I really do.
You say he can be better than David? Well, listen, you know what? I'm going to just take it as I'm glad that, we have him and his ceiling is sky high. Yeah, I don't want to say that he can be better than Anthony Davis now, because there's so many things that Anthony Davis can do that we have yet to see Mitchell Robinson do those same things. So,
but this guy's only 20 years old, Sim. That's what I'm saying. This guy has got a lot of untapped potential.
That's true, but there are some things I'm not sure he's going to be able to do. But I can't. I feel you.
Don't shortchange the kid, man. This kid has exceeded expectations more than anybody I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
So.
All right. Let me get to Guillermo. Then we're going to get down to Mark. Guillermo, go ahead, man.
Yo, yeah, man. He's not Anthony Davis defensive. Let's chill out with the extremes, man. But but things that when I saw Mitch Robinson coming in, obviously I wasn't looking for him to be a pronounced shooter, even though I did want him to shoot. Things that we discussed earlier in the season, Sim, was foul trouble, him using his feet and strength, right? So off those three, I think His strengthening is still somewhat of an issue. I'm not saying he gets bullied a lot, but he's doing somewhat of a little bit better. But, I think with the footwork, Sim, especially defensively, he's done a lot better. I think with DJ coming on, which is very underrated, him being able to build up his stamina and strength throughout the season, I think is extremely important. His foul trouble, that issue where he was getting like 4 fouls and a half, he's cut that down a lot. And that's very underrated. Some guys don't get that until years down the line. And he was able to get that, with the help of DJ coming on, taking some minutes. But even on a per 36, whatever, I have to check the stat, but it looked a lot better than when he started. So I give him that. I think that his awareness with the pick and roll it started off from good, but now I won't say it's excellent, but it's really good now. And again, the footwork down low, be able to shift, playing weak side. The blocks, they're beautiful. I think he has 171 blocks for the season. It's great. It's nice to look at, but I don't necessarily look at blocks as like the ultimate stat for good defense. But when he's forcing guys to take bad shots, and I think that's more consistent, and that's a stat that's very underrated. He's contesting shots, and outside of the blocks, yes, they're beautiful, but guys aren't taking good shots against him, especially on the perimeter when he's getting out there. A lot of people think that if I'm a center who could shoot or a big man who could shoot, the center's not going to come out because they're just not that agile, whatever. Mitchell Robinson changed that whole dynamic. So, come next year when we have better perimeter defenders or whatever, it'll be beautiful to see how those guys two work in synergy. But I think in terms of the development from things that we talked about earlier in the season, footwork, foul trouble, and strength, I think he's done a great job, especially for a rookie. This is a guy that people were like, oh, yeah, I was going to draft him in the second round, like the Lakers said they were going to do. And now he's looking at a guy like he could have been a first-round draft pick, maybe top 10, especially with this draft. So, salutes to Mitch Robinson. He did a great job this year. Okay. And the attitude thing you got about, too, I think that's excellent, especially for this team, especially with things like with Trier and Hardaway. Him being a vocal leader, we don't have an alpha dog yet on this team. But if you can grow into that, especially as a center, as a big man, and people fear the big man, I think is the big plus for him. So
I agree. And David Fisdale alluded to that when he was talking about Mitchell Robinson when he did his interview, kind of postseason interview on how usually for a big man that leadership role takes them a little bit more time to grow into that leadership role because they don't have the ball in their hands a lot, right? So the person that has the ball in their hands kind of has control in the offense at that moment, and the big man is usually fed the ball from a guard. So I agree with you, and I agree with David Fisdale, and hopefully he'll be a guy for Mark.
Oh,
Mark, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
I'm good.
My son get a B+, man. You already know how I feel about him. So.
We didn't get to that yet. I'm just asking you for your assessment, man.
Oh no, that's what I said. I said I'm giving him a B+.
Assessment, not grade. I'm asking you for your assessment. Assessment.
Well,
just a quick assessment.
Well, like I said, the kid is coachable. He learns almost through every game he plays. He's a defensive beast. So the kid don't even know how to play, but he picks up defense like I never seen before out of someone so raw. Never in my life. And if for him to lead the defense like that, he gets a A+ for that.
I agree for sure.
Because for him to do that playing for the Knicks, that's a miracle.
Yeah.
That's a miracle. But, he got a nice touch around the rim. His offense is going to come along because he does have like a layup package. Like if you watch him sometimes, he's kind of ambidextrous with the ball in his hand. Mm-hmm. So he has he shows it from time to time. He don't do it consistently, but he shows his layup package. But
he paid a lot of VC. He paid a lot of VC for that layup package.
Yeah, but the kid just has the nose for the ball. Yeah, like I said, the kid is like 3-4 years away with his body needing to be worked on. Yeah, it's gonna be like I said. He has Anthony Davis instincts to me defensively, and I'm not even gonna put a cap on him because I believe he's gonna be able to dribble with the ball. It's just that he's not gonna do it now because he's playing one role only.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it'll be. Trust me, I would love it. It'll be amazing if he becomes.
Yeah, you don't put a cap on. You don't put a cap on a player like that.
If he becomes, someone who can dribble the ball and those.
And his motor, my bad. His motor is A+.
Yeah, you're
like,
right.
I don't question. It's like that's the type of person you don't question his integrity to the game.
I feel you.
That's what I love about the kid.
So you're giving him a B+.
I'm gonna give him a B+ because his offense ain't there.
Okay.
If he could have scored like 15 points, I'd have gave that boy an A+.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, you're giving him a B+. The other Mark, what are you giving him, Mark? Mark with the Knicks at.
Yeah, I would say I would have to give him, a solid B+. And I mean, I honestly feel guilty of not jumping on an A, only because he didn't play enough this season, and maybe he could have showed us a little bit more on some of the points that were brought up earlier, and that would have put him there. Yeah. So I feel like he was cheated,
Okay. All right. I'm with it. Nate, what are you giving him?
B-.
B-. Why the minus?
Because I would have gave him a B+ if he would have rebounded more and he wouldn't have gotten foul trouble as much. I know he cleared that up, but early on he was just getting in fouls way too much, ticky-tack fouls.
But see, that's the reason why I take away the minus, because, in my opinion, I take away the minus because he learned, right? So the fact that he learned how not to foul and keep himself in the game means a lot to me. I mean, that's part of his. But also
too, he is offensively challenged. That's another reason why I gave him a B-. I need to see more offensively from him. Maybe a jump shot, some kind of hook shot, some kind of inside other than just putbacks.
Okay. All right. Guillermo, what do you give him?
I give him a B+ because the whole shooting thing that I wasn't looking for that. If it happened, is a bonus. But when you saw this kid coming in raw, especially 19, like. The fact that he's playing this way on defense, and being a vocal leader as a center. We haven't had vocal leaders at center for, even just around the NBA for years. So it's beautiful to see that. I mean, the foul trouble and stuff like that, he's calmed that down. The footwork, which we bang on Knox about, he's calmed that down as well. He's improved that. His awareness, pick and rolls, beautiful. So I give him a B+, man. I love the development. And if he continues, man, hey, we got a beautiful gem on that team.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And Isaiah?
Hey, Sim, you know what no one's even said yet? The fact that Mo Bamba was projected, this is what Mo Bamba was supposed to be, shows me that Mitchell Robinson would have been a top 6 pick. And I'm just so happy that we got him. So basically, we got Mo Bamba what he was supposed to be at the second round. Like I said before, It's a B+.
My thing about, the comparison with Mo Bamba, I think Mo Bamba's a little bit different of a player. Mo Bamba has a little, he can handle the ball a little bit, and a little bit different of a player. But, I feel you though. I hear you. He definitely would have been a top 10 pick if things had been different in his college career. So you said you were giving him a what?
B+.
B+.
He just has to. And listen, like I said before, if he could just get a mid-range, a hook shot, something to make it respectable. Because I'm thinking about once we get into the playoffs one day, he has to develop a post move, because you can't play 4 on 5 in the playoffs. But like I said, once he gets his offense just to be respectable. Listen, the sky is totally the limit for Mitchell Robinson. B+.
No doubt about that. All right. And then I got my man down here in the red shirt. What's your name?
Because once we get... I can't mess with you, Ant. You've been wilding for the last 3 months.
Yeah, my name is Kareem.
Kareem, what's going on, Kareem?
How's it going, man? I called in a few times in the past as well.
Oh, I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it. Well, I'm glad you joined the video chat, man.
No, I appreciate it. I figure I'd join, not doing much, anything else better.
All right. So, so what's your grade of Mitch, man? What's your grade for Mitch Robinson?
Grade. You want a grade or an assessment?
Well, you can just give us a grade. Because after this, we're gonna sum it up, and then we're gonna move on to the next one. So you just give me a grade right now.
Yeah, I would give him a B+.
B+. Okay.
I would definitely give him a B+. Actually, I was watching a compilation video of his highlights, his dunk highlights. And what I noticed from his first game on, through the season, he actually put on some muscle. It wasn't much, but, he actually, gained some strength, maybe some core strength. And, he was able to, finish dunks better and have more balance on the floor.
Yeah. And that strength is going to go so far in his development.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And also the way he plays on the defensive end, he actually, it's actually scary. He can actually go from the middle and defend the perimeter at ease and go back and forth.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? I mean, that's crazy. Part of it is, good awareness, good footwork.
Yeah.
His length is off the charts.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
His length is just off the charts. You know
definitely, yes.
Yeah.
And his defensive instincts and man, it's scary with him, man. He can only get better, as time progresses.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. And we see King Ant, we see Ant G. Ant, I'm gonna get around to your assessment afterwards. All right. So for Mitchell Robinson, sounds like it's a consensus. We're giving Mitchell Robinson a B+. All right, so Mitch Robinson got a B+. Well-deserved B+. And for me, if he had a little bit more of an offensive game on his own, it would have easily been an A. I know he can get rebounds and putbacks and catch oops, but sooner or later and it's gonna happen. He's gonna learn to be able to take someone off the dribble from maybe the pinch post, knock down the mid-range jump shot. He'll know those things, and when he does that, it's gonna be out of his world for him, man. So big shout out to Mitchell Robinson. I really do like, and he's a great kid. He's a great kid. How much more? And I tell you one other thing, you could see the maturation just in him as a young man. He was, when he first came, and I'm going to credit this to the New York Knicks as well, with helping him with this. He was a little shy, a little media shy, not sure what to say in front of the media. And I'm pretty sure with good coaching, obviously getting used to it, he became comfortable with the media, and able to talk in front of the media. That's a lot of growth. We've seen a lot of growth for the young man. So big shout out to Mitchell Robinson for that. And just real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. All right, subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell. You get a notification anytime that I go live, drop a video, make a comment, whatever it is. So please make sure that you subscribe to the channel right now. And then we are going to talk about another player, another rookie. Obviously, you guys know who it's going to be. We're going to talk about Alonzo Trier. Right? Alonzo Trier was another guy that was not expected to make the team. And by the way, SeatGeek. Go to SeatGeek. And it doesn't have to be for Knicks tickets. It can be for Yankees tickets, Mets tickets, Giants tickets, Rangers tickets. It could be for concerts, whatever it is. But use the code NBK and you'll get 20% off of your first purchase. All right? And see the code up there. Use the code NBK, get 20% off your first purchase. Alonzo Trier, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of strengths for Alonzo Trier. I think, obviously, his first strength, first and foremost, he is a fearless scorer, and we've seen it. Alonzo Trier can score the basketball. He has good handle, right? He can obviously use his handle to create shots for himself, right? So he's a fearless scorer. Also, with Alonzo Trier, he can hit the three. He shot 39.4% from three this season. I think that's pretty good for a rookie. Shoot 39.4%, almost 40% from three. I like to see him learn how to a little bit more off of a catch and shoot, but I'm not going to argue with him right now. And, of course, he plays aggressive, and that's exactly what David Fizdale wants. David Fizdale wants guys that's going to be aggressive and attack. So he fits David Fizdale's mold of player. He fits that mold of player to the T. Exactly what he wants. Obviously, there are some things that Alonzo Trier can work on. We're going to talk about those things. Okay, but he's an aggressive player. Very aggressive. And he's strong. He is strong. He can finish through contact. Right? It makes him a decent defender because he's so strong. I honestly think that he has the ability. He's a good defender. I think he has the ability to be an excellent defender. I do, because he can move his feet well. He's aware defensively. He is, and he's strong. He's strong. You know what I mean? So I really do think that he can be a really good defender in this league, in my opinion. Developmental needs. What does he need to do to develop? Play less selfish. And we heard about it, right? We heard about it all the time. That Alonzo Trier needs to pass the ball a little bit more. I was a little bit upset that David Fizdale gave him so much free reign from the beginning of the season. I thought that David Fizdale should have put a little bit more structure on him from the beginning of the season, and then allowed him to go. Then let him be a little bit more free. Right? But, you know, what are you going to do? He's going to learn. He's a young guy. He's going to learn. He's going to learn how to play. And I'm sure that's something, he talked about things that he needed to do to get better. A lot of the little things of the game. And I think one of those little things that he was alluding to was sharing the ball a little bit more. And you're seeing people argue with him, get mad with him. Tim Hardaway Jr. for not making the right pass at the right time. Okay? So that's something he needs to work on. Expand his offensive game. We did see during the season that when teams started to pick up what he can do, I stifled him a little bit. So he's got to expand his offensive game so that he's able to, have counters. When people figure out what he's doing, he can go to something else. Okay? Expand its offensive game, and then just improve his all-around basketball IQ, which is going to come with experience, but it also comes with watching film over the summer. And so then that way he can learn when do I let go of the basketball? He can see it on tape, see himself on tape, and a coach could break it down with him and say, you could have let go of the ball a little bit earlier. You could have let it go here. You could have let it go there. That's going to be his development. Alonzo Trier is definitely a guy that I believe we need to keep around. I want to keep him around. All right, look, as a rookie, he shot 44.8% from the field. It's not bad. It's almost 45%. Way better than Tim Hardaway Jr. He also shot 39.4% from the three. So, yeah, Alonzo Trier definitely has a future in this league, and I hope that it's with the New York Knicks. And I want to hear what these guys got to say about Alonzo Trier. It should be overwhelming. It should be positive. I think it should be positive. We're going to find out, though. Sometimes there's some surprises in here. All right. Let me see who we're going to start off with. I will start off with Ant G, because Ant G is just getting here. All right. Ant, what's poppin', man?
Yo, what's up, sir?
What's going on with you, man?
Not much, man. It's been busy, man. Busy.
Yeah. Oh, and matter of fact, and what I did not mention, excuse me, I apologize. What I did not mention about Trier, but I'm sure you guys seen it on the screen. Trier averaged 10.9 points per game, 3.1 rebounds per game, 1.9 assists per game. He shot 44.8% from the field. Go ahead, Ant. Give me your assessment of Alonzo Trier.
I think from where he started, he had a great year. I didn't. And at the beginning of the year, I wasn't a big fan. I was vocal about that, but he proved me wrong, man. He had some flashes. He had some peaks and valleys, but I think for the most part, he's shown that he can score at the NBA level. I think his defensive potential, he flashed that some. So I think he could be a pretty good two-way player. A lot of people compare him like Lou Williams and guys like that, but I think he can be better defensively than those guys. He's strong. I like his mentality. I just think he has to really work this summer on his ball handling and passing ability. Ball handling was okay, but more effective ball handling, like because he does a lot of dribbling.
Okay.
But a lot of his dribbles don't have purpose. So I want to see him, tighten up on that a little bit and just learn and pass the ball a little bit.
Right.
Tim Hardaway Jr. talking about Trey passing the ball is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like a pot on a black. But
yeah, I will agree that he does take a lot of empty dribbles.
Yeah.
Right? It takes a lot of empty dribbles to get his shot. And that can definitely stall an offense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like the Melo rule. I think D'Antoni had for him. Like make up your mind in the first 5 seconds or pass the ball.
Right.
I think that'll be a good thing for Fizz to use on Trier. Make a decision quick and keep the ball going. I think that'll help him. Yeah.
And in David Fizdale's defense, it is something that he said, he wanted these guys to learn, that you don't hold the ball no more than 3 seconds.
Right.
Get the ball out your hands, let's keep it moving.
He could be a really good player, though, man. I think he'd be really good.
Yeah. Emmanuel C. said, Trier drove me nuts at times when he held the ball. Yeah, Emmanuel, I agree. Profit mentality says way too selfish. See a lot of people commenting about, Tim Hardaway criticizing Trier for passing the ball. And I didn't get a chance to shout out the people in the YouTube chat. I'm not going to go down and shout out everybody, but, shout out to all you guys. And as much as I'm looking in the chat too, I'm going to, try to get to some of you guys' comments as well. Make sure I get to those. Big shout out to Joseph Brent. Thank you for the super chat, my man. And James Ferguson Hogan says Trier can pass too. He can pass. We have seen that he can pass. He just needs to do it, I think, a little bit more often. Or, like people are saying, cut out the empty dribbles. Make your dribbles effective. Either you're going to the basket or you're trying to get out of trouble or you're bringing the ball up the floor, right? Standing still and dribbling out the clock, it's just not effective and it doesn't help your offense move. And hopefully that's something that he'll be able to get as he grows as a player.
And Sam, I forgot the stat, but it was a stat I saw earlier in the season about how good he was in catch and shoot situation. I would like to see him do that more. Move off the ball, get open, and catch and shoot. Because I forgot the stat, but somebody said something about it before where, he was really good in those situations. So I want to see him, work on moving without the ball. And I think if he could do those things, I think he could be a sleeper next year for that two-guard position.
Yeah.
Okay. After this summer, I think he could be a sleeper for that spot.
Okay. We'll see what's up. Well, obviously we got to see what's going to happen in free agency and all that kind of stuff. But I think he's a keeper. I think he's a guy we got to keep around. Yeah. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna come to Kareem. Kareem, what do you think about Trier, man?
First thing I want to say is, besides him being a little sporadic times with his shooting, I can appreciate the field goal percentage and the field goal from the three-point line.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Almost 40% from three and, almost 45% from the field. Not bad at all.
Right.
And I actually, I think he played the way he played because of, the situation, with us, our circumstance this season and not really having a go-to person. So I believe that he was given a short leash with the with the coaching staff. But I think it kind of got out of hand after a while. But if he could, they can dial him in at times, he could be effective. I think he'll be a great six-man for us. I would like to see him come off the bench in that six-man role.
Okay, all right. So a lot of people say that about him, that he can be, a strong six man. He's going to be a good six man in the league. I mean, does anybody believe that he's going to be ever develop to be a starter?
I would say I would say no, because you don't want him to play too much isolation, but then at the same time you don't want to alter his game much either.
Right.
So I think he would thrive in a situation where he got the free reign to shoot coming off that bench.
Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense. Definitely makes sense when we talking about Alonzo Trier. Mark, who's Mark? I'm coming to you. Who's Mark? I don't know. He's yelling at somebody. I'm coming to you, Mark. I'm going to get your assessment of Alonzo Trier.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. With Alonzo Trier, he's kind of who he is. Like, the best thing about him, he's going to learn to just score a little better, score a little more better. But he's a one-dimensional player. He's efficient. That's one thing that blew my mind with him. Mm-hmm. Because if you watch him in college, he wasn't such like that. But he's efficient scorer. So that's a plus on my behalf. He has to learn to get rid of the ball when he doesn't have it. That's his main problem. But I'm not mad because he's learning. He's going to learn that. His defense, he tries hard. That's what I like. He tries at the game. He ain't scared. He has assertiveness. He gets a C plus for me.
Okay.
Because he has straight assertiveness to the game. He ain't afraid. He's efficient as a scorer. As much as he's a ball hog at times, he's still efficient. He gets to the line.
Yep.
But his bad habits is that he holds the ball a little too long for my taste for this team.
Right. He holds the ball.
But he's one-dimensional, and the only thing he's gonna get better at is just scoring at an elite level when his role is more permanent. When his role is more permanent as a player in the league, you're gonna see him blossom into a great role player.
Okay, so
that comes off the bench.
So again, do you believe he can ever be a starter in this league?
No. Okay. No. No. Because he's not a point guard. He's a two guard, and he's too small for a two guard to even start. Mm-hmm. But he's a bench player.
Donovan Mitchell is. He's how big? How tall?
But no. With Donovan Mitchell, with him, he's a better defender. He has more of a offensive repertoire. He's not a ball hogger. But he's a different type of player than Trier.
He's not a ball hog. That's true.
He's not a ball hog.
That's true, right?
He scores in an elite level right now, like literally.
I mean, he shoots 43% from the field, 36% from three. That's Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you watch him, that is Utah. With him, is Utah or nothing else.
Now
that's how good he is.
He obviously plays a different game than Alonzo Trier, but Alonzo Trier is more efficient from the field.
Yeah.
Let me see. Donovan Mitchell averaged 3.7 assists per game. Alonzo Trier averaged
Trier's not a passer. He's not a passer
per game. But
how much?
1.9.
Yeah, he's not a passer. He's just a scorer, man.
Right. But what I'm saying, if Alonzo Trier, he's still a guy that can learn. If he did,
he can learn. But when you watch him, so it's when you watch certain players, and he's like 23. When you watch certain players, you just their role. You just see it.
Well,
he's gonna find his offense is gonna get better.
We'll see
for his role.
You know what?
But is he going to be a passer? No, I don't think he's going to be a passer.
I'm not saying that he has to be a straight up passer. I'm going to hold it. I'm just going to hold it out. And
but him and Donovan Mitchell it's not even close. Not even close. That's blasphemy.
I'm just going to hold it out and see, because obviously he don't get to say. I mean, I think that Alonzo Trier probably, if he averaged 30 minutes a game, 35 minutes a game, he probably could average 20 points a game, right? And still shoot 46% from the field. I believe that he could. So I'm not going to say that he couldn't score on par with Donovan Mitchell. I'm not saying that he is Donovan Mitchell, but I'm not going to say that he couldn't score on par with Donovan Mitchell.
You know what it is? Donovan Mitchell is just a different type of player than Trier.
a different
That's
type
what
of
it
player
is.
than Trier.
Like the Donovan Mitchell is like a star in this league. Like because what he does for Utah and in the West, you have to be big time, and he's big time, bro.
And you know he's a little more. Donovan Mitchell is a better defender. He's more explosive.
Way more. He's above the rim, and then
explosive.
His playmaking ability is getting better because in college he wasn't much of a playmaker, but when you watch him for Utah, the offense that they run for him, it makes him to a better better assist guy. So he's learning too. But with Trier, he's just a scorer. He's been like that his whole career.
I know, but I'm not gonna put him in a box. I'm not ready to say that he can't be a star.
You know, he could be his best. He could be Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams type.
I'm just saying. I'm not ready to put a box on. I'm not ready. I mean, maybe you're right, but
he has a box.
You know, I think that maybe he could grow.
No, he can.
I think that maybe he
when
can
he
grow.
grows,
When
he grows,
one day.
He's gonna grow into one of those players where Fizz gonna say, "Six man, do your job." That's what he's gonna grow into.
Okay, we'll see.
What Lou Williams do for the Clippers, that's what he might grow into.
Okay, I mean,
so
we'll see.
Be a good player. He's gonna be a good player.
Everybody says that. I think that Alonzo Trier could turn into a starter in this league one day. That's just my opinion. We'll see. We'll see. I think that he could. This is what gets me. This gets me. I know that he's 23 years old, but 23 years old, 15 years ago, you still had a lot to learn in this league. That blows me. 23 years ago. Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. 15 years ago, right? If you came into the league at 23, people said that you had a long time to grow. That's what people said. Now you come into the league at 23, you're already put into a box. I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the game has changed a little bit, but kids are still kids. People are still people. People still grow and develop. You already put him into a box and say that he can't grow to be something else. I just disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? I just disagree. I believe that this kid could grow to be more than that. Like you say, he's 23 years old. How old is Donovan Mitchell? Donovan Mitchell played 4 years in college too. Played 4 years in college. Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. Why you say at 23 years old, he is what he is and he's not going to be anymore. I disagree with that. I believe that he can grow and develop. And if he really does work and want to develop and grow his game, I believe he has the ability and the talent to do it. So I'm not ready to put him in a box and say the only thing he's ever going to be is a six man. Right now, maybe he's the perfect six man, but I'm just not ready to say that's all that he's going to be. I'm just not ready to say that. I think that, maybe he could grow to be better than that. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, he's going to be a star and he's going to be this, he's going to be Donovan Mitchell. I'm just saying that I think he could grow to be more than that. That's just my opinion. The other Mark. Shirt Mark. Give me your assessment on Alonzo Trier. Mark with the Knicks hat?
Yo, what's happening?
Yeah, I'm just looking for your
unmute me.
Your assessment on Alonzo Trier.
Yeah, I think am I muted?
No, you can be.
All right, cool. So, Lonzo Trier, the thing that I have that gives me a lot of extra hope when it comes with him is that he's very aggressive and he's very tough and he kind of brings it like to the other player. He doesn't wait for the impact. He drives to it. So I really think that there's a very strong chance that he's got a ceiling that's going to be a little bit surprising where he winds up to a lot of us. I don't think he's going to be a flash in the pan. I think he's young enough, tough enough, and I'm really banking on that.
Yeah, and he is tough. He is, man. He's a tough guy. Yeah. He's a tough player. He plays tough, plays aggressive, plays with heart, and I think he has a chip on his shoulder. And I don't discount that because, simply because of where he was, not where he was drafted. He wasn't drafted. Right?
Right. He's kind of got that. He's kind of got that John Starks appeal.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
That journeyman, tough guy.
Yeah.
That just clawed his way onto the team.
Yeah.
That sat on the end of the bench and made his way into the middle.
Yeah, and if you hear David Fizdale, he said when he called him up, Trier told him, "I'm making the team." Kid's got supreme confidence, man. He's got confidence, and you need that. Let me see. Let me get around. Nate, I'm coming to you, Nate. What do you think, man? Hold up, 1 second, Nate. 1 second.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so whoever said at 23 you're already figured out, that's preposterous. I mean, anything under 25, you still got the potential to be a good player. That's just crazy to think that. Second of all, I absolutely agree with you, Sim. I think he could be a shooting guard in a starting shooting guard, especially for us, because right now we don't have a shooting guard. Let's just be honest. And look at Trier's numbers. I mean, to be a good shooting guard in the NBA, you have to shoot a good percentage. And Trier's shooting a good percentage with limited minutes. Imagine if he gets more minutes. Mm-hmm. Obviously he's got to work on his passing and defense. But here's my thing with Trier. If he just watches Lou Williams, like how he's doing in the playoffs right now, studies him, he can be a Lou Williams type for us off the bench right now. But who knows? He could be thrown into the starting lineup because right now Fizdale, unless we draft a shooting guard in the draft in the first round, which I don't think is going to happen unless we fall, it's going to be between Ntilikina, Trier, and Dotson. And quite frankly, if we're going to get KD or Zion, you're going to need shooters. And I'd like to see Trier get more of an opportunity to shine. The one thing I would like to see him do more, Sim, is come off the ball, move without the ball. I think he could be a good player if he learned to move without the ball. And then, right. He's aggressive.
Right.
So you put the ball in his hands and he can go to work.
I agree. He definitely, yeah. I agree with you there. All right. Let me see. Guillermo, coming to you.
Hey, Sim.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Sim? Hold on. Let me just mute some people, man. We just joking too much over it. Yeah, sorry, Sim. About Trier.
Yep.
Very disappointed in him. And it's not... I don't like I wasn't... With his development, right? We know he could score. He's an adept scorer. That wasn't the issue. And he might be who he is, but even at times, like this guy, when he ignored Tim Hardaway on the fast break, he's ignoring plays on the fast breaks, and he's only going for his. And he's driving to the basket. Literally, once teams adjusted to him, and he's trying to do the same thing, they were calling the offensive foul with the elbow stuff. He never changed from that. And it's like, and then when you hear on top of that, you hear the things with the behavioral, I don't say behavioral issues, but the angst or whatever you have with teammates. And look, it's one thing if you get mad at, you argue with Tim Hardaway, but when it trickles down to Moutier and other players, it's like, maybe that's a you thing. And I think with Trier, because, I think, he comes from a single parent home or whatever, blah, blah. Because of his talent, maybe he's been babied a little bit. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the case, but when you look at a guy like that and the fact that he's fighting with players in a team and he's very one-dimensional, it speaks to how you want to develop. Do you just see yourself as, I'm getting points up, I don't care how if we're winning or losing, and that's not a good asset or a good trait to have. And that's why, I know we're going to get to grades, whatever. I'm very disappointed in his development because I'm not saying he has to be a perfect point guard, but where was the evolution to his game this season, Sim? When he starts with a drive up top, a lot of the times he really didn't look up. He was very...
Now, okay, I get that, but I'm going to attribute some of that to David Fizdale.
Agreed.
I do not think
but Sim, if I say that, people are going to get on me.
I
don't want to get on Fizdale too much yet. I'm just saying on Trier. Okay. I agree with you 1,000%, Sim. It's on Fizdale to nip that in the butt before he even reaches that level.
I don't think that Fizdale, what I want to say, promoted that in Trier. I think Fizdale embraced his one-on-one play and said, I mean, this is one of the only guys that I'm going to let have free reign to go one-on-one. And I think that was a mistake with Trier.
Agreed 1,000%. That's why I know we're going to get to Fizzo. When we talk about culture, philosophy, system, I was harping on that because even if you lose, you have to have a hierarchy of players, a hierarchy of play. What do we value first and foremost? Do we value high-octane shooting or scoring like the Rockets? Do we value defense like the Bucks? What do we value on this team? And the guys who show that the most, those are the guys that I'm going to put as the example for the team. They're the guys that we need to follow. We need to feed off their spirits. Like Mitch Robinson, he want to have a defensive team, right? When I look at Mitch, and we talked about this in the beginning of the season. Remember the preseason game against the Nets? All of us were happy. We're all like, yeah, blah, blah. And then we started seeing during the season, and there were games that he started. I remember that early game. I can't remember. I think it may have been the Nets again in the regular season where he kind of saved us. He had like a ridiculous second half. And I remember saying this to him. You go back to the video, people don't believe. I was like, this is great, but I hope that we don't depend on this as our anchor because he can get trapped in that mindset of, oh, since he's rewarding this or he's praising me because of this, I'm going to keep doing this and not expand my game. And that's, look what will come to happen. So I agree with you 1,000%. Part of this is on Trier. A lot of this is on Trier, and part of this is on Fizz. But the arguing stuff, all that stuff, that's on Trier. You know, you can have your arguments, whatever, blah, blah. But when it spills over to multiple players and in public, that's not a good trade. You saw the article, I think, from New York Post about the scouts, whatever. There might be some rumors, there may be some lies, whatever, from the scouts. But if it's getting out like that to the rest of the world and there's some truth to it, that's not a good thing for us.
So now how much was what I'm trying to figure out is who else was he arguing with? I know that, he had this thing with Tim Hardaway Jr., but was it who else on the team did it happen with?
They said Moutier that he had like a fight, not a fight, but he had like I don't say brush up, but whatever, argument, whatever. I think, and we talked about this. Remember, it's a San Antonio game, I think it was. Yeah, it was a San Antonio game. And I think they also mentioned in the article that he had like dealings, whatever, with Moutier. Which, and look, I understand they're both fighting to be a point guard or whatever on the team, or at the time they were. But, it's with two different players. And, guys, remember, Tim Hardaway. And Tim Hardaway was right, when he threw up his hands because, not threw up his hands. He kind of got mad. It's like, dude, pass the ball. It's just not a smart play.
Okay. All right. So what do you give him? What are you giving him?
In terms of development, I honestly give him a C- because we knew what he was from Arizona. But the behavioral stuff and the lack of court awareness, being more of a team player, facilitating the ball, even though he's not expected to be a great point guard, like being a guy that actually facilitates the ball, push the ball. He did play decent defense, but it was hurt. So I'll give him a C. I'll give him a solid C. I won't give him a C-. I'll give him a C.
Okay. All right. Isaiah, real quick, and then tell me what your grade is for him.
Sam, real quick, listen. The things Trier got to work on is dribbling less, passing the ball, and trust. It was too many times this year of the selfishness. When you got to play like Tim Hardaway saying you're selfish, and there's been multiple times where we've seen Mario Hezonja angry because he dribbles all the time and it's empty dribbles. There's a problem. Listen, this kid is efficient. He can play defense. He can do a lot, but I'm looking at this team in the future, Sam, of where we need to be and where we need to play team ball.
Right.
He needs to get better at that really quick because there was a lot. It's just a lot of selfishness with him that I just did not like, and a lot of it was on Fizz for allowing that to happen, of allowing that to be okay. So I can't really give him a bad grade because a lot of the reason why he was acting like that was on Fizz. So I'm going to give him a B-.
Okay. My only thing is that with him is that every player has a strength or weakness. Every player does. And this is his weakness or where he needs to develop. He grew up as, the best player on every team. Maybe didn't have all of the, different coaches from here. It's been his role ever since he's been playing basketball, right? That's been his role, is to score the ball. And after you're doing that for years and years and years, now you're asked to learn how to play a different way. It's not going to happen overnight. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we have to.
Guillermo,
got to take that into consideration when you're looking at his grade and development and things. That's not going to happen overnight when you've been doing it for your whole career. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take a little bit of time to learn how to be that kind of player. You know what I'm saying? How to be. So I don't want to say that he's a selfish player. I just want to say he's got to learn. He's got to learn how to play more of a team basketball game, because it's not what he's been asked to do, and I think we got to recognize that. So you said B-. Nate, what did you give him?
I'm gonna give him an incomplete, man. And
you gotta give him a grade, man. You gotta give him something.
Oh man, it's really hard because I saw two Triers, man. I saw the Trier in the beginning of the season who was playing at a high rookie level type of potential. And then I saw the second Trier in this after the All-Star, which looked like teams had figured him out, and he just seemed more selfish and dribbled a lot. So I don't know which Trier to really grade upon. I saw two different Triers. I mean, I guess if you're pushing me, C. I need to see more development in this guy. I think he's got the world of potential, but he needs to be a better passer. He needs to be a better team player. And he needs to shake this chip on his shoulder that he seems like he has. Now that he's got a contract, he needs to just embrace playing. I think one of the reasons why he played so selfish is because he was trying to make the team. You know, and I think he was just showcasing himself. Well, now he's kind of on the roster. Now he needs to embrace being a player.
Okay. I mean, I think that chip on his shoulder is what got him where he is. I think we'd be wrong to ask him to lose that chip on his shoulder. I think
just kind of loosen it up a little bit, because it seems like he needs to embrace being a team player. Because basketball is all about team.
My two biggest things with him is holding the ball and just holding the basketball. Yeah. I've got to wait and see more about the attitude thing. I got to wait and see more to see if it happens again.
He can't be a black hole in the offense.
But the thing is,
he's got to be able to move the ball around.
Yeah, but the attitude thing, I just don't know. I mean, it could have came from anywhere. Who knows? Who knows what's happening in the locker room? So, I need to see more evidence of that. So my two things is he's got to expand his offensive game and then learn how to get rid of the basketball. Those are things that he can work on and develop. I don't know.
Yeah, he can definitely do all, man. He's young.
Yeah. Mark with the Knicks hat, what grade did you give him?
What grade I give Trier?
Yeah.
I would say I'll give him a C plus, and with a lot of hope. I just want him to make better decisions because he's so aggressive. He does get out ahead of himself a little bit, and he's young. In the NBA years anyway. So, I think if we give him a little bit more time, I think that we mute these guys a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Cool. I can hear you much better now. But, yeah, hang on. Yeah. So, Trier is going to be a diamond in the rough that Fizdale is going to get to work his magic, which I love, and he's going to get to work on him and turn him around. I'm looking forward to what he does in 2020 for us. What do you think?
Wait, you're looking forward to see who does in 2020?
And Trier, what Trier does, and what Fizdale helps to bring out of him.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Fizdale, hopefully, part of his goals over the summer is to work on how to, distribute the basketball a little bit more. So what's your grade?
Right, make better decisions, because he's so aggressive. He gets ahead of himself a little bit. And, you can't pass like Kyrie until you kind of put some more time in on the court. But his heart's in the right place. He's just a little bit of a young gun, and he'll learn his way. I think that there's a high probability that we're going to get a little bit more out of him than people think.
Yeah. So what's your grade for him?
What's that?
What's your grade for him?
I gave him a C+, and I wanted to give him more. I really did, but he's got to earn it.
Okay. All right. And Kareem, what did you say your grade for him was?
I'll give him a C+.
C+. All right. And what did you say your grade was?
I'll give him a solid B.
Solid B. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of in the C+ range with him. Kind of in the C+ range because, like I said, I want to see him learn how not to hold the ball for so long, and move the ball past the basketball and expand his game so that people can't, so that he can learn to be an all-around scorer. All right. So yeah, C+ for Alonzo Trier. C+ for Alonzo Trier. And folks, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start moving a little bit faster because I don't want to keep you up all night. It's 12:49. Last time we did this, we did it for like 4 hours. It's already been an hour and a half. So I can't go 4 hours tonight. All right, so we're going to move this along just a little bit faster. Again, Alonzo Trier got a C+ from the crew. All right. Next up to bat. We got a lot of guys to go. Frank Ntilikina. And I'm sure this is going to be a healthy debate about Frank. It's going to be a pretty healthy debate. Frank Ntilikina, our first round draft pick from 2017. The enigma in the building. What can we say about Frank, man? Frank Ntilikina, he's a very good defender. We know that. Right? He's long, 6'6", 6'7". He can defend. He can defend 3 positions on the floor. That's his overwhelming strength right now, defense. And let's be honest, any team needs a good defender, especially someone who is young, like Frank is young. He's going to be 21 in July, right? July 18th or something like that. He's going to be 21 years old. Frank is a young kid still, and he's got to learn. You still got to learn the game, but he's got something to hang his hat on, which is defense. Very good defender. He understands the game. All right, he was brought up in a type of a system where he just understands the basketball game. He knows how to play basketball. And that's from David Fizdale himself. Frank knows how to play basketball. He knows what to do. And he has a strong work ethic. Now, where does he need to improve? Let's talk about the developmental needs, because that's what most people are going to want to talk about right now. Right? Number one, he's got to improve his offensive efficiency. It's got to. Frank Ntilikina averaged 5.7 points per game, 2 rebounds, 2.8 assists. He shot 33.7% from the field and 28.7% from 3. Scott Perry talked about it. Well, Wednesday, I think it was. That Frank Ntilikina has got to be able to knock down that 3. Right? That's the next evolution of his game. It's the next part of his game. He's got to be able to knock down the 3. He shoots 28.7%. It's got to be that. Right? What I do see from Frank is that he can get to spots on the floor. There's a lot of people that don't want to recognize that. But he can get to his spots on the floor. But he's just not accurate. He's not accurate. He doesn't have a lot of touch. And he doesn't shoot the ball with confidence. Aggressiveness. Frank's got to learn to be more aggressive. Alonzo Trier's got to learn to be less selfish. Frank's got to learn to be a little bit more selfish from time to time. But again, you don't want to take away a player's game, right? Because the more you try to take away a player's game, the more they will lose confidence in their game and not know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And I think that's something that's happened to Frank coming to the league. He doesn't know what they're asking him to do. Everything that they're asking him to do opposite of what he's learned and how he's learned how to play the game, which is a struggle, right? All your life, you've known the sky to be blue. Now, if someone wants you to learn that the sky is green, you're going to struggle with it. You're going to struggle with that comprehension on why it's green. You know? So he's being asked to learn something new and to play a different style of game. So, and being aggressive is part of it. It's a struggle for him. And then, of course, just building confidence. I met Clyde Frazier at his restaurant. And it was me and Tony Crow. My wife and my daughter were there. And we asked Clyde, we said, what's up with Frank? What do you see with Frank? What's the issue? And he said, his biggest issue is confidence. He needs to build. He said he's too nice of a kid. He needs a little bit of nastiness to him. Right? He's just nice. And he needs more confidence. So Frank's got to build his, how do you build confidence? You start with little goals and you accomplish those little goals. Small goals. You accomplish the small goals. And then you increase the goals. And you increase the goals as you accomplish those goals. And each time that you increase your goals, guess what? Your confidence builds. Each time you accomplish one of those goals, your confidence builds. That's what I think is going to have to happen with Frank. Is it going to happen over one summer? Probably not. Probably not. But he's got to continue to work on small goals to build his confidence. All right. So we're going to go around. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do is give me a quick 30-second assessment in your grade. All right. And then, so then that way, we can get through this really quick. All right, so we're not on all night long. All right, and I'm looking in the YouTube chat. King E161, he says, I give him an F, but I still want him on the team. GC says, I'd still rather trade Knox than Frank. Famos says, let my man learn the American game. And that's what I was alluding to. Famos, he doesn't know the American game. Chick George said, damn, so many of y'all are hard on the kid. Kind of talk about guys in the video chat. David Jackson gives Frank a B-. Famos again says Frank just needs some time. Esco says, what damn spots, man? Frank lay the ball up like me. You must be nice laying the ball up then, Esco. Nah. Frank does get to his spots, Esco. I think he does. He knows how he can get to his spots. If you go back and watch some games and look at moments when Frank has the ball when the clock is winding down and he needs to get to a spot and get a shot up, he's able to do it. He's able to get to a spot and get a good shot. He just doesn't hit it. He just doesn't make it. But I've seen plenty of times when Frank was able to get to where he wanted to get on the floor. He just doesn't have that mindset to do it. You know what I'm saying? Bless Roberts says, Frank game is built on structure and the Knicks have none. That's why he struggles. I tend to agree with you there as well, Bless. I agree with you as well. Frank is a player that needs some structure. You know what I mean? Travis Fisher says Frank has a very high basketball IQ. Yep, he understands the game. Chick Joy said Frank did some really good things this past year. He did do some good things. I saw some good things. You know what I'm saying? I saw some good things from Frank. But people don't want to notice the things that I see from Frank. I see little things that maybe other people don't see. But it is what it is. We're going to talk about Frank Ntilikina. We're going to swing through this really quickly, though. So I want you to give me a quick 30-second assessment. I don't even know if Isaiah can hear what I'm saying because he's asleep. He's probably going to get on and go on for like 3 minutes, and I'm going to cut him off after 30 seconds. All right? So, Frank, Isaiah, I'm going to come to you. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And then you're
all right. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, 30 seconds with Frank. I agree with you. I've seen the little things with Frank. He has to really work on, working on the shot, making sure it's good. I really do wholeheartedly believe if you put Frank in a system and tell Frank that you need to do this, this, and that, he will succeed, and that's what he needs. He needs structure. And, yep, that's it.
All right, so what's your grade?
Grade, I'll be honest with you, Sam, C-. Again, he needs to be aggressive. And as you know, I'm a big Frank fan. Next year, he needs to really work on the offense, and he needs to be more selfish.
Okay. All right. Okay. Guillermo, coming to you.
Hold on. Yeah, hey, what's up, Sim?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
A quick 30-second assessment of Frank, and you're great.
Frank incomplete. I mean, kid got hurt. He just got tossed around, and just that really didn't fit him. He got pulled out because he wasn't aggressive enough, but that same thing wasn't carried out with other guys. So his confidence, injuries, and again, trying more aggressive ball, and he got hurt. So incomplete grade.
We got to give him something though.
What would I give him, Sim? And this is not his type of system, and it's up to him to gel into it. But then he got hurt. Look, just a piece of the chat room because they all gonna kill me. I'll give him a D because of it.
I mean, I'm just saying, if he had to pass to the next grade, you would have to give him a grade, right? If he had to pass or fail, if he was gonna go to the next grade or not, you'd have to give him a grade. So, we're assuming that, he's moving on to a new developmental season. We gotta give him something. So you're giving him a D.
On talent, I give him a B. On performance, I give him a C-. Just
okay.
Poor.
And I know it is very hard because he's playing in something that he's just built to play. So, which is part of the reason why I kind of don't think he's going to be here, because with the way that Fizdale wants to play, it just doesn't mix to me.
Sim. No. I'll say this, Sim. If Sim is smart, if Fizdale's smart, he's gonna look at even though he's not playing right now, he's looking at the importance of Marcus Smart, and he look at the importance of Patrick Beverley. Yeah. Those guys, in terms of perimeter defense, is important. Yeah. And especially having a guy like Kyrie who has a somewhat of a funny knee, you're gonna need perimeter defense. So, do I think that he might be gone? I think there's a good chance he's gonna be gone. But if this guy's smart, you're talking about getting to the playoffs, you're going to need somebody who's defensive in the front court and somebody who's defensive in the back court. No, you can have this guy play the Marcus Smart role, be perfect for Kyrie.
I agree with you 100%. And, I mean, I don't know if I even have to defend Fizdale on it, but Fizdale has said the right thing about Frank, but also it's out there that the front office is looking to move Frank at the draft. We'll see.
This is a dumb thing. Why? What are you going to get for Frank? Who's going to? If I'm an NBA GM from another team, why would I pay anything for Frank when you guys are selling him on the cheap? Yeah. If I really want to trade Frank, wouldn't I try to build up his trade value during the season?
Well, I think from what I've read, is that they're probably going to be trying to trade Frank for, I don't want to say a draft pick, but trying to trade Frank so that they can free up his $5 million, the money that he makes, so that they can have it in free agency to build.
Well, so wouldn't it be better if Trier had a better year, and Trier might not be the guy that you want to fit into this team, whatever, and he's not. You might see right now this is a ceiling in terms of just being this offensive guy, and you have a guy like Kyrie who's coming in, who I think he likes playing with a guy like Marcus Smart, a guy who can offset him, play the defensive role, do the dirty work, and allow Kyrie. Wouldn't you trade Trier instead of Frank? I'm just saying. I'm not trying to go Frank trade. I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what the contract situation is going to be like, but that's going to be a tough and controversial decision, whatever they do. Let me keep moving. Nate.
Yep.
Man, I love Frank, but I'm gonna have to give him a D. just too much inconsistency, injuries. Just did not see enough of him to really give him a passing grade as far as a C or higher. The biggest thing with Frank is he's got to grow up, and he's got to tune negativity out from the outside. He's got to be himself. He's got to feel confident within his own body. And I think if he can do that, everything else will fall into play.
Okay. Do you think that outside stuff I don't know. I don't think it does. I think being a young guy that is kind of, like you said, an enigma that everybody's always like a punching bag towards. I mean, we're using him as a punching bag on here. You can imagine that people talk, people say things. Hell, players might even say things about him. I don't know. We don't know the dynamic inside the locker room. But the fact is that when your coach doesn't even give you a really vote of confidence and gives a guy who was traded last year more of a boost, it sucks. You know, rumors about them trying to trade you. You got to be really down on yourself. You know? I mean, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I think that I hear what you're saying. I don't.
You just got to go. You just got to grow up, man. You got to grow up more.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think he's mature for his age. I think he's a mature kid. He's got a great work ethic.
But as he grows up, he needs to become more confident in himself. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right, but that's going to take, that's going to take time. That takes time. Mm-hmm. When you were 20 years old, were you fully confident in yourself?
I wouldn't say fully confident, but I was pretty mature for my age. So
right,
I mean,
but when you had to go, if you were 20 years old and you were thrust into a position that was akin to being a top level position in whatever field you work in, would you have been confident?
Probably not at the beginning. Right. It took time.
Yeah,
but I think also
that's the same thing.
He's got to be more vocal with himself, with other people. You know, he's got to maybe not be such a nice guy. He's got to be a little bit. Bit dog in him.
Yeah, he's got to build some confidence. So you're giving him a D.
I give him a D. Yeah.
All right, cool. Mark with the Knicks hat.
My quick 30, on him is basically. I think his best moment that we can all remember was when he stood up to LeBron James, and pushed back on when LeBron tried to step through him. It's sad that that's the thing that we have to think about right now, like his big Garden moment, because as wonderful an athlete as he is, it would have been great to see something more. I do know that there's trade value. Mark Cuban expressed interest in him a long time ago, early, and I don't know what draft picks they have available, or if they would just pick up his contract like you had mentioned earlier. But that could be an avenue. But I wanted to bounce something off of you, right? You're a coach, and you've been around athletes, and have you ever been around an athlete when they really kind of blew up as far as muscularity? I think that it kind of slowed him down a little bit. Like he really needs to maybe get a stretch coach come and help him. Get his range down, his range of motion. Okay. He seems a little restricted, like a tight, he works out too much,
And maybe. I mean, maybe he's just not like that super duper athletic type of person. He's long and looks like he has an athletic type of body, but I don't know if he's like an athletic person.
Yeah. And he does have that little French thing about him where he's just a little too polite. You'd like to get a little more New York in him, get a little bit of hair on his beard and get a little tough.
Yeah. I'll say over the summer, take his money away and drop him off in Queensbridge. You know what I'm saying? Take all his money away, give him a little bit of money, do what he can do, drop him off, get him an apartment in Queensbridge, and let him live there for a couple of months. Put him in the D League. You know what I'm saying?
Put him in the G League, rather.
Let him live in Queensbridge or Bed-Stuy, someplace for a couple of months in an apartment. Toughen him up. Have to walk to the corner store, do all those type of things. And,
he'll toughen up.
See if he toughens up then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but have you ever seen when an athlete maybe just blows up too much, like muscularity, and they lose some of their range? Because in basketball, it's not like you're doing the snatch and jerk lift. This is, you're trying to shoot precision, a basketball, into the hoop. It's you need some flexibility. You need to have your motion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I figured. I feel.
It seems like he got too muscular too quick.
Okay. Hopefully that's not a problem. So what grade did you give him?
I'm gonna have to give him a D.
D.
But it's I give the guy hope as well. Even if they do wind up moving him, or another one of the younger players, but we're on him right now. If they move him, it wouldn't shock me at all if all of a sudden he went to Dallas and became that lockdown defender that can really get the job done.
Well, it wouldn't shock me at all because
it wouldn't shock me either. It wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all because he'd go. If he went to a place like Dallas, he'd fit in much better, I believe.
Yeah.
Which
I suspect that's where he would wind up going if he did leave, because Cuban always seems to say things one time. He said it's about Porzingis one time.
Yeah.
And I always felt like if we ever lost Porzingis, it was going to be the Dallas Mavericks. And I was right. And I think he's just that type of billionaire. He sees something, he gets locked in on it, and he gets there. And I think that he believes that he could do something with Ntilikina to teach the Knicks a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. All right, got you, great. I'm coming to you, Mark. Who's Mark? Who's Mark? I'm coming to you, man. I don't think who's Mark. Yeah, okay. Mark, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, quick 30 seconds, man. Give me your 30 seconds in your grade for Ntilikina.
Well, I gotta get as much as I love him and I want to keep him. I'm a fan of him for what he does as a player, but because he has been injured, he hasn't been on the court, and we only seen glimpses. I have to give my man a D, man. It's hard, but I had to give him a D because we couldn't see him. Everything is about being on the court. Now, if he was on the court, I'd probably give him a C because guess what? He does well. He plays defense well, so he does one thing that's very good.
Right.
But he wasn't on the floor enough to see that if he could make corner shots. He's like when people argue with Frank and la 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 la. No, he was never drafted to be an offensive juggernaut. He was never that type of player. He was a play-making off-ball guard that could do multifaceted things with elite players. When he gets elite players, you'll see his talent more. It'll be more emphasized. Now, when you're playing with a whole bunch of scrubs and point guards that don't pass the ball, his talent kind of get thrown to the wayside because you're not running an offense with him in it. Now, when you add Kyrie and KD, those are guys who plays in the offense. Those are basketball players. So when you implement Frank, when we have a guy like Kyrie that can attack the paint and make plays, and hey, they go Frank on the corner, he can make shots. And then he could play defense and make plays when he's the off guard off Kyrie, which Kyrie don't have to handle the ball all of the time. He don't have to handle the ball, so sometimes Frank could take those responsibilities from time to time to make plays. He's a stabilizer. When you watch him, he's a stabilizer. He gets the bigs. He gets the bigs in right positions to make plays. He scores in right positions. So for people in the chat to think that he's going to be some star point guard, no, get that out of your head, please, because it was never going to happen. I never said it was going to happen. I always said he was a play-making basketball player.
So you're giving him a D?
I'm giving him a D because he wasn't healthy, Sam.
Yeah.
He didn't show his jump shot. That was instinctive for him to come in if he could make open shots.
Right.
That's the thing that I wanted to see this year.
Right.
Because I think he had the ability to pass. He had the defensive instinct. His IQ is there for the game. It's all there, but it has to get refined when he get better players and more playing time. Okay. So I'll give him a D just because he hasn't played, not because of his game. It's just that he cannot stay on the floor.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
And I don't think the Knicks is going to trade him.
Okay, I hope not.
Not at all.
I hope not.
Not at all.
I really hope not.
I think they're going to they'd rather get rid of someone else because the big thing with the Knicks, they're emphasizing on defense. Fitz said it himself. We don't play defense. We don't have defensive players, and we have two of them. maybe even 3. Dotson a little bit on ball, but off ball he kind of sucks. But we have 3. We have 3 guys that can play adequate NBA defense, but the other guys are just trash.
Okay.
But that's my assessment.
All right. Kareem?
Sir.
Yes, Frank Ntilikina, quick assessment and grade.
All right, I would say for Frank, I love his defense, right? I just wish he would use his size to his advantage at times on the offensive end. And also his wingspan. Because he didn't play much, I would have to give him a D as well. But I don't want to trade him. I actually want the Knicks organization to keep him. Because if we get somebody like Kyrie, with Kyrie's knee, we can throw Frank in there at times and, get a more favorable matchup on defense.
Okay.
Or just, anybody, we could put him on the opposing team's best offensive player. And that's my take on Frank.
Okay. All right. And Aunt G?
I think the biggest problem with Frank is he's just too timid. I don't think I think the skills are there. I just think he's too timid. Because he's not supremely talented. He's not supremely athletic. So his impact is going to come with his IQ and his skills. And I don't think, and you can't, that can't shine if you're being timid, if you're thinking too much. Your IQ and your skill set can't show. So I think if he could just become a little more, stop thinking so much and just play and let his IQ take over, I think that's when we'll see, him shine. Because he's not like Dennis Smith where he could jump out the building. Or he doesn't have or he's not supremely talented. So he has to allow his IQ to be his calling card. And when he's thinking too much, I think he's just afraid to get taken out. He's afraid to make mistakes and stuff like that. He's afraid to miss. I think he has to just, get out of his own head. And I think, the team we're going to have next year, I think he's going to be an important type of player, a guy that doesn't need a bunch of shots, where he can just come in, play his role, move the ball, be where he's supposed to be. So I would keep him. Okay. And he's not expensive. So I don't see the point of trading him right now. I would keep him and get him in the weight room, put some more muscle on him, and just get him out of his head. And he'll be good.
All right, so what's your grade?
Like a D-, because he kind of regressed this year, so I'll give him a D-.
All right. So Frank Ntilikina, I have to agree with most people. Frank, I wanted to see. I never expected him to be 10, 11, 12, 13 point. Well, I thought maybe he would be about 10. I never thought he was going to be 15 points a game or anything like that. I would have been with 10 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, something like that. I wanted to see him shoot much better. I have to give him a D for the season. And he's so far he's proven to be an injury-prone player. And listen, I like Frank. I love the little things that he brings to the game. I really do. And I know a lot of people, they don't see the little things that I see. But I love a lot of the little things that I see him do. Sometimes he makes the pass that leads to the good pass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I got to give Frank a D. Got to give him a D. Big shout out to my super chat people tonight. Thank you for your super chat.
I'm about to hop off, but it's taking too long, man.
Thank you for joining me. Ant said he's hopping off because it's taking too long. So, but hey, sometimes we got to be thorough on our investigations. But big shout out, CT Pittman. Thank you for the shout out. Said shout out to you, Sam, for great content all season. Chester Nason said NBK A+ as best YouTube channel. I appreciate you. Jet for Life, thank you for the super chat. Hotep Rel said, remember, the Lakers gave up on D'Angelo Russell. They sure did. Magic Johnson traded D'Angelo Russell because he said he needed a leader. Now guess who's a leader of a playoff team? D'Angelo Russell. Yep. Frank Ntilikina gets a D, folks. Let's go on to D-Dots. Damian Dotson. Let's see what guys think about Damian Dotson. What I have for Damian Dotson. Damian Dotson averaged 10.7 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, 1.8 assists. He shot 41.5% from the field. I thought Damian Dotson would be a little bit better than that. Also, 36.8% from three. His strengths, he's a very good defender. He plays well off the ball, and I think he's a good character guy, a good teammate that is going to fit in wherever you put him in. He's not going to complain. He's not going to whine. Developmental needs. He's got to improve his offensive efficiency, 41.5%. I think he can be better than that because he does play well off the ball, and he does take good shots. I think he has good shot selection. I think that he needs more offensive moves. He needs to refine his offensive game, so that he can have a better field goal percentage and then improve his all-around basketball game. I think Damian Dotson is the kind of guy you want to keep because he's going to develop into a very good role player. That's what I think. So let's get around quick. Let's make it really quick. And I'm going to come to you, man. We'll talk about Damian Dotson. Damian Dotson, what you got for me?
Man, I like Dot. Dot played really well. I'm going to give Dot a B. I'm gonna give him a B. It's not too much he didn't do well this year. I think a lot of his inconsistency in the beginning was playing time. Fizz would sit him for 3 games and play him. But I liked everything I saw from Dot this year, man. I think he just needs to fine-tune a couple of things. And, man, I think he's going to be a big part the next year. He's going to find himself playing a really big role for us. So, whole team.
Okay. I bet. All right. Damian Dotson. You say you gave him a B?
Yeah, I give him a B.
All right. Kareem, coming to you, Kareem. Real quick, what do you got for Damian Dotson?
I said he did a lot of things well this year. He got, I like the improved shooting. Field goal percentage is not bad. So I'll give Dotson a C minus.
Okay.
C minus.
What do you think he needs to improve?
I would say at times he's a chucker at times. The defense is solid. He chucks at times, and he just has to watch some film and increase his basketball IQ. Other than that, I'm pleased with what I see with him. What you see is what you get with him.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay. Mark, who's Mark? I'm coming to you. Who's Mark?
Mark? Yo.
Go ahead. We talk about Damian Dotson real quick.
Okay. Damian gets a C plus for me. Matter of fact, a C minus.
All right. Why is that?
He worked on his shooting. He worked on his ball handling for what he does. He's not gonna be an elite ball handler, but he's gonna be able to, when he gets the ball in the right position, he's gonna be able to make a move or a play. He's a decent passer. He showed a little bit of his passing. His on-ball defense is good, but his off-ball is really like suspect. He has to work on that. He has no awareness when it comes to that. He's a decent, rebounder. He'll go up and get it. You could run plays for him. I've seen a couple plays when Fizz run for him. So he's a decent wing shooter, as I thought he would be. But with more repetition that he got this year, you see what he does. If you look at his numbers is on par and a little more better than Tim Hardaway. His efficiency is there also. The only thing he has to work on when we get better players is more of his consistent shooting, making consistent shots. Not, he goes for 20 this game and then 5 the next. I want him to be able to. I have
that he needs to improve his efficiency because he shot 41.5% from the field this season.
45?
41.5% from the field, which was surprising 41? To me. Yeah, it was surprising to me. I was surprised.
Yeah, that's kind of. But dude, I don't really want to judge that on with this team because, like, the way it was this season. Like,
it's tough. I know. It's tough.
It's tough because he's not like that. He's not a person that's going to jack up shots or anything like that. I don't look at him as that type of player.
Right. He has good shot selection. He takes good shots, takes the right shots. Yeah.
It's just that, Sim, everything is predicate like with this team and these young players. It's just if we had a decent point guard to make these guys and their skill set a little more better. But with Dotson, I always thought what he was going to be coming out of college. He's a shooter. You could see it.
Right. So what's your grade? What's your grade?
C minus.
All right. I bet. All right. Mark with the Knicks hat. Dotson in your grade. Quick on Dotson in your grade.
Yeah. Dotson, I basically. I think that the tank had something to do with a lot of these young guys not getting to get their time in on the floor. I think that was Fizdale just regulating the losses because you can't. I mean, if you're trying to get Zion or a pick like that, I mean, and it was quite obvious. We were completely in a tank, so I can't just look at some of these young guys or Dotson right now in particular and say, hey, he showed us everything he could do. I don't think he really did get the chance to really shine this season. And I think he's a terrific player. I can't find myself giving him more than a C right now, only because he didn't get to play enough to earn a B or even a C+. You know what I mean? But I'm forward leaning and looking forward to seeing what the future brings. I think he's got a lot of just drop dead shooter inside of him once you let him stay on the floor a little bit,
Okay. All right. I like Damian Dotson, man. I really do like Damian Dotson.
There's a lot to like there.
Yeah, a lot. All right, Isaiah, coming to you, man.
Sim.
Yo.
I'm mad at you. You gave everybody else like 2 minutes.
Ain't nobody get 2 minutes. Go ahead, man.
I was mad. Look, anyway, only thing to me got to work on is his off-ball defense. He played really good this year. I like the way he played. He shot really well this year. He gets a B.
A B. All right. I mean, Isaiah, I thought you liked ending things quick. That's all.
Now, whoa, wait, what that mean, brother? I don't know what that. You've been coming at me all day. You said I don't like this today, yo. And when I see you again, Sim, which is gonna be soon because we playing ball, I'm going hard. I'm throwing some bows.
All right, I'll be back around. Promo?
I'll be really quick. I give Dotson a solid B. I think we found what his niche is. Ball shooter, show flashes. He played decent defense, even though the defense kind of waned towards the end of the season. I think the team played just not winning this season. But yeah, as an ball shooter, I love it, man. Guy plays hard. He can shoot perfectly. Ball shooter can drive to the basket time. Not too high ceiling, but decent. Yeah, I give him a solid B.
Okay. All right. Good. Nate, real quick.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna give Dotson a B, and in my opinion, probably he's the second best player on our team.
Ooh.
And Sim, what did he shoot from three?
He shot 36.8% from three.
Okay, not too bad. He doesn't really have any glaring weaknesses, in my opinion. I think the one thing I would like to see him do more is move without the ball and maybe work on a mid-range jumper. Okay. I think he could be really deadly with that.
Okay. I really do like Damian Dotson, and I think that I was surprised that his efficiency was only 41.5%. But I think Damian Dotson deserves a B. I'm giving him a B. I think Damian Dotson is a B. His field goal percentage to me has a lot to do with, like Mark said, not having a point guard that can really get him the ball, get past to him where he's catching the ball right in his pocket, ready to shoot. But also he has to improve. He's got to get a few more offensive moves in his repertoire, in my opinion. But I think Damian Dotson is a B type of guy. So I give Damian Dotson a B. All right, a B. And I'm looking forward to Damian Dotson being around for a while. I think that Damian Dotson is one of them guys that you keep around. All right. Now, next up, let's talk about another controversial guy. Guy that we got in a trade this year. Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. has a lot of strengths because he has a lot of tools to work with. We know that. Right? He averaged 14 points. Now, this is for the Knicks, not for the season. This is for the Knicks. For the Knicks, he averaged 14.7 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, 5.4 assists per game. Only shot 41.3% from the field. He shot 28.9% from three. Now, Dennis Smith Jr., he can be very explosive. Very explosive. We've seen it. He can come out of nowhere and at any time. He's a penetrator. He can penetrate to the cup. Right? He can get in there, kick the ball out. And he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Like Alonzo Trier, Dennis Smith Jr. plays with a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a chip. He's got some heart. Especially when he wants to. And that's one thing that I don't have it in my developmental needs. And maybe I should have put it in there. But when he wants to, Dennis Smith Jr. can be aggressive on defense. And he can really be mean. Like when he's going up against someone who he views as a competitor or someone who he views as a rival. Like De'Aaron Fox. Right? When he goes up against these guys, he turns into something different. He's got to learn how to do that all the time. But listen, the kid has a lot of tools. Back to his developmental needs, he's got to improve his offensive efficiency. How does he do that? Shot selection. Almost like Tim Hardaway Jr., shot selection. Sometimes he, gets a little crazy with the shot because a guy like Dennis Smith Jr. has so much talent. He can get to the cup anytime. He can get a shot off anytime he wants to. But that's hard for a lot of players who have that kind of talent because they know they can, but it's so easy to get a shot off. It becomes what they rely on. It's like, I can get my shot, so yeah, let me go get it. Instead of understanding, I can get my shot whenever I want to. Let me get the ball around. Let me do this. Let me do that. And then let me go get a good shot when it's necessary. He can improve his offensive efficiency by doing that. But he's a young guy. Got to remember, he's young still. 21 years old, 21. He's got to improve his defense. The kid has the ability to be a very good defender. We've seen him be a good defender, but he takes plays off. He does. But he has the ability to be a really, really good defender. He's got to make up his mind to do it consistently. And in my opinion, I feel like he needs to learn a little bit more about running a team, not just going through the play, not just penetrating and dishing, but really being the leader and facilitator. I think he has the ability to do it. He has the personality to do it. I think he can do it. I really do. Those are the things that I think. That's where I think he needs to improve. See what everybody thinks about Dennis Smith Jr. All right, let me see. I'm going to start with you, Nate, and work my way back around.
Yeah, Sim, this is a hard one because I personally think that once we get Kyrie, Dennis Smith's going to be gone. I don't think we keep both of them. I'm going to give the guy probably a C- because he came in half the season. I agree with you. The two things I want to see from Dennis Smith is leadership. I think he needs to be a leader on this team because he's kind of like the older statesman, except for Lance and all the other guys. He needs to lead these young guys. And on top of that, I want him to become a better passer, get shooters in their pockets. I don't know those hollow dish and kick assist. I think he needs to work on trying to get these other shooters involved early on, and then he can get his own at the end when we need the guys to close.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Okay. I agree with you there. What grade do you give him?
I gave him a C-.
A C-. All right. Okay. Guillermo, coming to you, man. Dennis Smith Jr.
Dennis Smith Jr. is kind of hard because he came to the team so late. But from what I saw, I mean, I have to give it a C because I think some of the issues that he had with Carlisle back with the Mavericks, he's still exhibiting here. He's very ball, very inconsistent with his shot. Kind of one-dimensional in terms of point guard skills. You see flashes. I like the pick and roll that he had with Dotson, not Dotson, DJ, and Mitchell. But I got to give him a C just because he didn't play ball enough and he didn't shoot well enough for me to see the growth. You know what I mean? So if you're talking about having Kyrie here next year versus Dempster, obviously you bring Kyrie. And is there space for him if Kyrie comes in? I don't know. So yeah, I gotta give him a C.
Okay. And looking in the chat, there's a lot of people that they're giving him about the same grade. Jet for Life giving him a B. Sean Mary's giving him a B. Troy Fleck gets a C. Bodega Wi-Fi a C. D Public Enemy a B. Travis Fisher gives him a C. Tanzer gives him a B minus. Mike Morgan a C. David Jackson B minus. So a lot of people are giving him around the same thing. The kid has a lot of potential though. If his energy is harnessed the right way, he has a lot of potential. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I like that though.
Yeah.
And him.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. There we go. Isaiah.
Hey,
what's up, Sim?
Yep. Dennis Smith.
DSJ. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of DSJ. I don't like the way he plays the game. I mean, he's very athletic. He's very, he can finish, but I'm just not a fan of his game. I don't think it quits to winning. But I'll give him a C minus.
Okay. All right. But you do realize that he's like 21 years old.
No, I realize that, but I mean, how can I say it?
20 years old, whatever he is.
I don't see his way of playing equals to winning. To be honest, that's what I see. His way of playing the game.
Okay.
It's just I'm not a big fan of the way he plays the game.
So are you saying that he's basically stuck in being that type of player? He's not going to develop?
No, I'm not saying that, but how can I say it? It's like I don't think he makes people around him better.
Okay.
Right now.
All right.
Not saying that he can't get better. I'm just saying like the way he plays the game, it doesn't really like. I was a little worried that Rick Carl couldn't do nothing with him. That just that made me see things a little different with him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Mark with the Knicks hat. Dennis Smith Jr.
How you doing, buddy? Yeah, Dennis Smith Jr. He's one of these young, exciting players that the Knicks have acquired that give us a lot of hope for the future. I'm not sure how much we're actually paying him right now, but I would not mind seeing him in the Knicks, uniform for the long haul. But he really does have to clean up his three-point shooting. There really is no excuse, to be as low as he is. But I really think that he's a very strong guy and a lot of potential and one of those explosive, dynamic, high-level, picks in the draft that, could really wind up being something special for the Knicks. So I like him. I do. And as far as what grade I'll give him, I'll go ahead and give him a C plus.
Okay. All right.
And I'm a little gifty when I say the plus, but it's just because I have a lot of hope for him. I think that he could be another one of those Fizdale kids who just got caught up in a tank season where you don't truly get to see what their potential is, because the goal is a tank, coach. You know it, and I know it. That's the goal. The goal was the tank, and these guys are playing into that. But I see a bright future for him, and I like him.
All right. Who's Mark? Coming to you. Who's Mark?
Yo.
It's Dennis Smith Jr.
Yo, on God, Sam. I wanted to skip those two point guards, and you know who I feel. You know what I'm talking about. But listen, man, you know how I feel about these guys. Skip. So you can go to another person because I'm not even gonna It's a big fat F. I don't care. It's just a big fat F with those 2 point guards. Just all right. It's a waste of my time.
Okay. All right. I don't know if he's an F, but all right. That's your opinion. I understand why. I know why. Kareem, all right. I'm coming to you. Mark doesn't even want to talk about Dennis Smith Jr.
Yo, he said he's skipping all the point guards, sir.
Yeah, I know. He's wilding.
Hilarious. Nah, here's what I would say, Sim, right?
All right.
I agree with OG Mark, right? I think that Fizdale, they should work on his shooting mechanics need to change.
Mm-hmm.
Like his shooting mechanics from three is very it's not fluid.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And not just that, he has to learn when to take that shot as well.
Yep.
Based on his game.
Yep.
You know, and also I feel that he should add a floater to his game because it seems like when he dunks too much, his back, he injures his back. He re-injures that back.
Yeah, he's kind of like the Derrick Rose thing. He's going to have to learn how to play a little bit easier on his body. Like Derrick Rose was so much power, and that's the only way he knew how to play. Dennis Smith Jr. is the same thing. He's going to have to learn how to change his game a little bit.
Yes. And also, one more thing. With his speed, right? Like you said, he has to learn how to run an offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with his speed, if we could get some shooters around him, he has to learn when to push the offense in the paint and dish out. Or as he adds that floater to his game, he could, hit that floater, or stop and pop for the 3-point shot.
Right.
Just by adding those few elements to his game, he gets better. So I know you need me to, I'll make it quick. So since he came halfway through the season, I'll give him a C.
Okay. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. Ain't Dennis Smith Jr.?
I'm gonna give Dennis Smith Jr. a C plus. He has some really good performances. I like his attitude. I just like him. I think he's a starting point guard for a winning team. Not at this style of play he plays right now. He has to, change a few things. Yeah. Become a better shooter. The pass first a little more.
Yeah.
But I just like his attitude. Like when he was talking about, I forget what team they were playing. I think what team was fighting for the playoffs, and he was like, we just want to make sure they don't get in. And he doesn't let people just come into the garden and celebrate and all that. I like that, man. I like his attitude.
Yeah.
So I hope he turns into something. I think playing under Kyrie Irving can be really good for him. I just feel like we're gonna have to come to choose between him and Frank. And that's a decision I don't want to make. So the guys that get paid to make that decision, I'm gonna trust him to make it. But I'll give him a C plus. He had a solid half a year for us.
Yeah. And me, I'm giving him a C. I'm kind of about there with everybody else. I'm giving him a C because I think, he has too much talent to shoot 41.3% from the field, and it all comes down to his, his shot selection. Like everyone's been saying, shot selection, his mechanics. He should be a much better shooter. He's got to have better shot selection. I think he needs to learn how to run a team, and he's got a lot of talent, and I think he has a chance to be a good NBA player. Good NBA player. And granted, he did come half the year. We'll see what's going to happen in the summer, if he's still going to be here or what. But Dennis Smith Jr., I give Dennis Smith Jr. the grade of C. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on, and we're going to talk about another player, another point guard. No, I'm sorry. No, we're not. We're going to talk about Mario Hezonja. Right? And I'm going to take that off. There we go. I don't know what he gets yet. Mario Hezonja, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say about Mario? It's kind of an enigma, but Mario Hezonja, he averaged 8.8 points per game, 4.1 rebounds per game, 1.5 assists per game, 41.2% from the field. He shot 27% from three, 27.6% from three. Mario, his strengths, he's versatile on offense. He can do different things. He can shoot it. He can make the three. He can go to the basket. He's got a couple post-up moves. Obviously, we've seen at the end of the season, he can distribute the ball a little bit when he has it in his hands. But he's inconsistent. We're going to get to that. We'll get to that. He plays with heart. I like that about him. He plays with a lot of heart, and he's multi-positional. Right? I like the fact that he can go from the 2 to the 3, maybe even the 4 smaller teams. Well, actually, now we know he can go from 1 to 4. Multi-positional, and that plays into what the Knicks want to do.
We know.
The developmental needs. He's got to be consistent. Mario's not consistent. You know what I'm saying? He'll have a few nights where he's good, and then all of a sudden he's not. He's got to improve defensively. He has the ability to be a good defensive player. He's got to improve defensively, and then his offensive efficiency, as you can see. We're going to make this quick. Just give me a quick, when I come around to you guys, just give me a quick, what's your grade for Mario Hezonja? After Mario, we're going to do Moutier, and then we're going to move on and talk about David Fizdale and talk about the front office, then we'll be done. All right, so I appreciate everybody for staying on with me. All right, I appreciate it. And I'm looking in the chat. I see some people, D Please TV is giving them a D. German Warfare says C. Bodega Wi-Fi has a B. Kind of all over the place. It's hard to pin it down. David Jackson has a C+. Hard to pin it down with Mario Hezonja. It is. Hard to pin it down. Let's check it out. Let's see what the chat has to say about Mario. I'm going to start with you, Ant, and work my way back around. All right? Just give me your grade for Mario. What do you give him?
Well, I'll give him a C-.
You giving him a C-? All right.
Yeah, I'll give him a C-.
Okay.
You was not but a prom fan.
Kareem, what are you giving Mario Hezonja?
I'm giving Hezonja, I would say a C-.
C-?
Like I actually think he got better at the end of the season. Like it's like I guess it started coming to him at the end of the season. But I believe that the Knicks, his strength, Hezonja's strength is with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And more like a point forward situation.
Yeah, that might be.
Yeah. That's like we need to run some sets with him in that position because it helps his game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. All right, who's Mark?
Yeah, come in.
Mario Hezonja, man.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Mario Hezonja, give me your grade for him.
Okay, my thing with Hezonja, right?
Real quick.
Because he's been inconsistent also.
Yes.
Prior to his last, 4 or 5 games where he put up some numbers. Yeah. So I can't really give him if he was consistent, I probably would have given him a C+ because he's very multifaceted with his talent. Right. And he shows it's there, but the inconsistency is not there. So I'll kind of give him I want to give him a D+ because I don't think his defense is there. His awareness on defense is not there. He sucks at that. He wasn't inconsistent enough for to even get a C. Because sometimes when you watch him on the court, he's in and out the game. So for me, with him, it's just he is who he is, man. Inconsistent shooting guard that's trying to look for $9 million next year. He kind of played himself doing that, so he kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So after him, he gets a D. He gets a D- from me because he just wasn't inconsistent. He was inconsistent for his type of talent.
Yeah, he definitely was. Mark with the Knicks hat. OG Mark. That's the name Kareem gave you. I'm gonna go with OG Mark. I like that.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
cool.
I like that.
So
what do you give him?
Mario Hezonja, man. it's like the tale of two seasons with him.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Mario that started the season with us and just never really developed? Or are we talking about the Mario, like your guy was talking about earlier, who's better with the ball and handling the ball with the ball in his hand? But when it all boils down to what our team is going to be next year, if he really is going to be warranting that kind of $9 million range, I think it's getting a little too rich for our blood in the stage that we're in. However, I think if we could punch his ticket at like that $5-6 million range, and he really winds up blossoming into so what else? We have to give him the ball, let him run the floor a little bit once in a while, because what he showed us toward the end of the season, guys, we were all looking at each other going, "Who the hell is this guy?" So let's. That's my take on him, So and I would have to give him probably about a C,
C? All right. Isaiah, real quick.
Hey, what's up,
just give me the grade. What are you giving him?
Mario gets a C+ because what Mario likes to do is he'll play really inconsistent towards the end of the season. Then he'll try to play really good so people can think that we signed him. He's a sheep. I don't really like him, but C+.
All right. Gormo.
Real quick, I give him a C. I actually think that has talent. I just think we use him wrong other times. I think he's better as a point forward. He needs a little bit of discipline, but it's probably not going to happen on this team.
So you're giving him a C?
I give him a solid C.
All right. And then Nate?
I'm going to give him a D, non-existent pretty much all season, and shine in meaningless games. So
okay,
no.
All right, and I feel like with Mario Hezonja, yeah, I kind of agree with you, Nate. He shined during the end of the season when it didn't really mean too much. But part of it, I also agree with Guillermo. Part of it was that we didn't know how to use them and things like that. I'm giving Mario Hezonja a C-. I wanted to see a little bit more from him. I thought, he's been in the league for, this is his 4th year in the league. I felt like it was time that, this would be the time that he would need to start to show who he is as a player. Give Mario Hezonja a C-. But I would like to keep him around if it's possible. If we can keep Mario around, I would not mind keeping Mario around because I think he has the potential to be one of those players that can fit into a nice spot, fit into a nice role. All right. Now we're going to get to another controversial guy. Another one. And you guys already know who it is. And we're gonna see. I want people to be fair. That's all I want. I just want people to be fair. That's all I'm asking. All right. Emmanuel Mudiay. Emmanuel Mudiay averaged 14.8 points per game this year. 3.3 rebounds, 3.9 assists. He shot 44.6% from the field. 32.9% from 3. What is his strengths? What are his strengths? He improved his offensive efficiency this season by a good margin. He improved it. He shot better than we've ever seen from him in the league. He shot 44.6% from the field. It's better than most of the guys that we've seen on the list. Let's be real. Better than most of the guys we've seen on the list. 32.9%. Could be better. He plays aggressive. He does. We've seen nights, when he looked really good. He can have scoring bursts. He can. We've seen nights when he's had some scoring bursts on his team. Emmanuel Mudiay has the talent. He has the ability. One of the things that he needs and this is not on the list, but I should have put it on there, but he needs to be in shape. I think if Emmanuel Mudiay can come back in supreme shape, if he comes back, or wherever he goes, if he's in supreme shape, he can be good. I think he can be. Some people are going to disagree with me. People don't like Mudiay. Mark's not even going to comment on Mudiay. I just want to be fair. He's got to improve defensively. He has the talent. He has the ability. Does he have the work ethic? That's my big question about Emmanuel Mudiay. Floor leadership. He's got to improve his floor leadership. He's got to be a better floor leader. I think he tries to. I really do. I think he tries to be a floor leader. He's got to learn how to, it's hard to become a point guard in the NBA. It is very hard. But you know what? I know we're going to hear some hate from Mudiay. And we're going to hear some hate from him about him. But I just want people to be honest with him. Be honest about Mudiay, guys. All right? Let's be real with ourselves. Let's be honest with him. All right, let me see. We're gonna come back around. Nate, coming to you. Then we're gonna move.
And I mean, Mudiay gets a B- in my opinion. Would be a B+ if his defense was a lot better, pass more. I mean, this guy has had career highs in his numbers this year. Fizdale did a really good job of, working with him, and whatever he said in the press conference about getting him right, he got him right. This guy's got a future as a point guard in the NBA, just not with us.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
All right. Guillermo? Guillermo?
So Mudiay? C-. I would have given him halfway through the season when he was like driving in addition and being a facilitator and trying to work his way up. I would have given him a B-, I would have given him a C+. But I think he's trying to play for his contract, and he was just putting up empty stats. Really didn't amount to much, so I give him a C-.
Okay. All right. Isaiah?
Listen, people are gonna kill me when I say D, because I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you gave Frank a C."
Hold on. Go ahead.
I said D because let me tell you something. D is for defense. This man is horrible on defense. I understand the points. I understand that David Fizdale gave him a leash because he said in the beginning of the season he's going to get Mudiay right. Listen, the defense was horrible with him on the floor. That man, I'm sorry. People are going to kill me because I said Frank gets a C, but he gets a D. Listen, I am not a fan of Mudiay. I can't wait for him I can't wait for him not to be on the team.
Right, but your bias is getting in the way. Instead of really looking objectively.
Whoa. Stop. Sim.
Your bias is your bias.
No, listen.
You're not looking at it objectively, though. You got to look at it objectively. Like you said, I don't like him, so you're looking at him through a colored lens of that you. Your lens.
Wait, hold on, Sim.
Hold on, Sim. Go ahead.
Sim, I'll say this. Did Mudiay improve in scoring? Were there games that he scored and we needed it? Yes. But Sim, the defense, Sim, I know you're a nice guy. You're a great guy. You're actually a great guy.
Gonna say, but listen,
the defense is not there.
He's got
because of the little things in the defense that he plays and he affects the game to me better than Mudiay.
I get that. But to me, in my opinion, if you're being objective and you're being fair, I like Frank. I really do. I love the little things he.
I like Frank too.
But listen. But there is no way, in my opinion, that Frank impacted the game more than Mudiay.
Sim, we won 6 games with Mudiay starting. Like we literally won less than 10 games with Mudiay since last year. Since he started for us, we have won less than 10 games.
But that's not just Mudiay. You can say that with whoever was the starter. I mean, we won, 18 games? 17 games, whatever it was?
Sim,
that's not just Mudiay.
Sim,
listen, you know I love Frank.
How many games did we win with Frank?
I would say Frank started like Sam. We won like 6 games with Frank this season when he played like over 25 minutes.
No. You said that we won however many games with Moutier starting, right? How many games did we win with Frank starting?
We won like 6 games.
With Frank starting? No, we did not.
It was no.
We did not win 6 games with Frank starting.
Wait. No, I'm talking about. Okay, hold on.
No. You can't change it up.
No. Look.
You can't switch it up.
Look, no. So I apologize. I was wrong. We didn't win 6 games with Frank starting. We did win 6 games when Frank played 25 minutes. But look, Sim, this is who said.
So what? I mean, we won 18 games. There's going to be a lot of people that played 25 minutes. And you can say, well, we won so many games when this person played 25 minutes.
But Sam, I'm real with Frank. If I say this about Frank has to be better next year. He has to me. There's no more excuses about Frank. He has to be better. I'm not scared to say that about Frank. But my thing with Moody is his defense really was that terrible to offset the offense. His offense wasn't that great to make it seem like the defense can just be a pass. That's all I'm saying with I'll be fine. I'll be better. I'll be good at C-. Is that better? C-?
Yeah, that's much better.
Do you feel better?
It's got to be higher than Frank's. It's got to be.
Okay, no, I'll give him that.
He impacted the game more than Frank. And Frank is my boy. I really want Frank to do well, and I want him to be on the New York Knicks. I like what he brings to the team, what he has the ability to, but you got to give it. Moody impacted the game way more than Frank.
But hold on, let me say this, Sim, before you go. It is, I seen it in the comments, it is true. If you look at Moutier's, even though plus minus isn't always the biggest thing, Moutier was always almost in the negatives, and Frank was either like a -1, a 0, or like in the pluses. Okay. I'm just saying about that.
All right. But you also
I'm taking plus minus to a small, not that high degree.
Our starting lineup,
you can't just plus minus.
Our starting lineup was not good either. And you have our starting lineup, which Moutier was in most of the time, playing against other teams' starting lineups. That makes a big difference. So let me get around. Let me get around everybody. OG Mark, real quick. We gotta try to do this quick. What do you give Moutier?
Let's see, Moutier. I would have to say I'm gonna give Moutier a C+, and I wish I could give him more. I love what Fizdale jumped out and said that he was going to get him right. I do think having a tank season, I keep bringing that up. You take these young players and you waltz them into a tank season, you don't get a true evaluation of what they are. So I think if you, like you had mentioned before, once you start mixing in some high-end NBA players, whoever they might be, like if you snapping that ball back and forth with Kevin Durant, that's going to make a whole new world for him. And I mean, like DeAndre Jordan, having him on our team, if we get to re-sign him next year and having some real basketball players for him to work with, I think there's some good hope for him. And I'm good with him, like, a good C+.
All right. Let's see. Mark? Who's Mark? You have a change of heart?
Yeah.
You want to give him a grade?
Listen. You know when Lil Wayne rap said F is for phenomenal? F is for failure. I feel disrespected that we even having a whole paragraph talking about this guy. He played for himself so he get a contract. I don't care. Just skip me and him, please. Do me that favor. Right, next.
Man. All right, man. All right. Kareem?
Yeah. Yo. Like, get him out of my face. Get him out of my face.
Well, Kareem, man, what are you giving Moody?
Yeah, I got you, Sam. I gotta give credit what's credit is due, man.
Yeah.
That field goal percentage is respectable, but from 3 to 3-point percentage is horrible.
Uh-huh.
But there were times where the game was on the line and he hit some big three. Remember that game against Milwaukee?
Yeah.
He hit some real clutch 3-point shots.
Yeah. He did. He did.
You know, and also finishing around the rim. We made that a point of emphasis in regards to him, you know, improving that in his game. Yep. And he has. So you know, I'm just using that, you know, our previous your previous conversations as a reference point. He improved at a lot of stuff that we wanted him to improve in.
He did. People got to give it up to him. People, yeah.
So as far as improvement, and you know, Phil, I got to give him a B.
All right.
Gotta give him a B.
I'm with you. And what you giving him?
My grade for him is a little different because my expectations coming into this year were kind of low, and he exceeded all of those expectations. So I give him a C plus. I give him a C plus.
All right.
I think if we look at where he started from last year to where he was this year, I think he made a lot of improvements, and I think he should be rewarded for that. So he was on his way out the league at the end of last year.
Yeah, man.
And he really showed some improvements. Even though he may not have a future here, he has a future in the league now. And I think, you know, that was a really successful season for him.
Yeah.
So I'm a C plus.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree with you. Definitely agree with you. Emmanuel Mudiay, folks. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Emmanuel Mudiay, but we got to be objective and be honest. I'm giving Emmanuel Mudiay a B minus. I think that he did save his career this year. I really do. I think Emmanuel Mudiay saved his career. He was on his way out the league. Wasn't going to be in the NBA no more. In my opinion, he was. Saved his career. He came in better shape. To get in supreme basketball shape, it might take a while. Came in better shape this year. I hope that he has the work ethic to continue to keep himself in shape and get better. But Emmanuel Mudiay, I'm giving him a B minus because I think he really improved to the league that he can be a valuable player in this league. And, you know, he's still a very young guy. He's 22 years old. I know he's been in the league for a little while, but people look at him as if he's 26, 27, 28. So he's not the player today that he's going to be in the future, I believe. I think he's going to continue to get better. I think so. And we will see. We will see. What I'm going to do next, guys, I'm going to go really quick. And for these last two guys, I'm not going to get around to the chat. I'm just going to kind of do my own thing. That's all right with you guys. And I want to remind you, please subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. You get a notification anytime that I go live. All right. Anytime that I drop a video. Anything like that. All right. The next person I'm going to talk about, and like I said, I'm going to go quick. Next person I'm going to talk about is Noah Vonleh. Noah Vonleh averaged 8.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 47% from the field goal, 33.6% three. I think he proved that he's an outside threat this year. You know, we didn't know that about him. I'm not sure the league really knew that about him. He proved that he's an outside threat. He's a decent rebounder, 7.8 rebounds per game. He's a decent defender. I think some of the things with Noah Vonleh, there were times where I didn't feel like he knew his role sometimes. And maybe it was something that the coaches were asking him to do. You know, maybe they were asking him to be a little bit more than he was. And sometimes I've seen him try to do some things on the offensive side that I was like, no, that's not you. Play your role. You know, so I think he needs to, you know, just play his role. Consistency. He hasn't really, you know, been consistent. He started off the season. We wasn't sure. Then all of a sudden he was playing well and then kind of faded off. So that could be, you know, to just the way the season was going. But, you know, he started to, there was one time where we were really talking about him as being the best player on the team or the most versatile or whatever it was. But, you know, for the most part, I think Noah Vonleh is a role player in this league, and he could be he could be a pivotal part to a good team, in my opinion. I think he needs to improve his offensive game as well. Be able, get some more moves, be able to score in different ways. He has the ability to. All right, so this is where I think, Noah Vonleh, I'm going to give Noah Vonleh this season because he's another guy that I think maybe, showed some people that he could be valuable in this league. There was one time near the trade deadline that we were looking and saying, maybe we can get a first round for this guy. Right, so I'm giving Noah Vonleh a C+ for this season. And I think he's another guy that, solidified. I'm not going to say solidified, but reclaimed his career. Another guy that reclaimed his career this season. And last but not least, as far as players are concerned, we're going to get to Mr. Luke Kornet. All right. Luke Kornet. He has 7 points per game, 2.9 rebounds, 1.2 assists per game. He only shot 37.8% from the field, 36.3% from the three-point line. How much is there to say about Luke? We know what he's there for. What he does. He spreads the floor. That's what he does. He opens up the floor. He takes the big man from down low so that you can have some penetration room because he can hit the three. He can rebound. We've seen him have some rebounding nights. But for the season, he's only averaged 2.9. Right? But he can rebound. We've seen him have some big nights. I think that he can be a good role player for a good team. A guy that can come in and knock down some threes, spread the floor a little bit. I think he can be a good role player. I'd like to see him as far as developing as a player. I would like to see Luke be a better rebounder, block more shots, and just improve his efficiency. I think he should shoot better than 37.8% from the field. I think in order for him to stay in this league, he's going to have to be one of those guys that shoots 40, 41, 42, 43% from three. That's what I think about Luke Kornet. He's going to have to be a knockdown 3-point shooter to stay in this league, in my opinion. He's got to improve his efficiency from the 3-point line, in my opinion. And listen, I think that he can. I definitely think it's something that he can do. All right. So for Luke Kornet, I am going to give Luke a very solid C. All right, giving Luke a very solid C for the season. What can we say? He has the chance to be a role player for this team. Now let's get on. We're going to get on. We got 2 more areas left. For the most part, for the players, overall, they're about a C. When we talk about development and things that they've given to the game, they're about a C. Overall for the players. But now, let's talk David Fizdale. I know there's some people chopping at the bit to talk David Fizdale a little bit. We're going to talk David Fizdale, then we're going to talk front office. Then we'll be done, folks. All right, so let's get into Mr. Dave Fizdale, our trusty coach. And I know, listen, we're not going to go too crazy, but I know there can be a lot said about David Fizdale, and there's going to be a lot said. But here's where I am with David Fizdale. First of all, I do want to recognize that I still think David Fizdale is a very young coach. He's almost like a brand new head coach in the NBA. He coached the Memphis Grizzlies. And then he came and coached the Knicks. Still very young, still learning his craft. I know he's assistant coach for the Miami Heat, but he's learning his craft. All right. So, that's something that we've got to take into consideration when we talk about David Fizdale. He's learning his craft. All right. I think he's very good at developing relationships. We've seen it. Right? The players all speak very highly of him. He's got good relationships with players across the league. So he's very good at developing relationships. He's a motivator. He does help get guys motivated. At the end of the season, the thing he did at the end of the season, we're telling guys, we got 7 games left. This is our playoff series. Let's win 4 of the 7. They came short, but they came close. Right? They won 3. I think that's a good motivate. That was a good motivational technique. Player development. Listen, we talked about the development of a lot of these players, and Fizdale had something to do with it. I will say that he had something to do with it. We did see times throughout the year where he benched players and then they came back and played. How much of that was him? You know what? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him some credit for it. Some credit for it. So he did definitely help develop some of our players this year. And let's hope that he can continue in some of the areas that we brought up. I'm sure he's not listening tonight. Some of the areas that he brought up, hopefully they recognize the same thing. Hopefully he recognized the same thing. And, he's going to help them develop over the summer. All right. Where does he need to develop? And you know what? Look, from what I heard from him, he seems to be a guy who is not afraid to take a look in the mirror. Right? I think he needs the X's and O's. I think that's a part of his game he's got to improve. And if he can't improve it, bring in an assistant that knows the X's and O's and rely on that assistant. I think he's got to do a better job enforcing structure. I think that was a big part of this team. I'm not worried about the wins and losses, but some of the things we've seen, I don't feel like there was enough structure enforced. I want to see David Fizdale enforce more structure. And then I want to see him close his mouth sometimes. No more car sales. No more being a used car salesman. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I think he talks and then he starts going too much and says some things. Right? I want to know what the chat thinks about David Fizdale. All right? We're going to make it quick. We got to make it quick, guys, because we got one more thing to do after this, and then we're going to go. Nate?
Okay, man. This was really hard to do because I wanted to give him an incomplete grade. I'm going to give him a D because the reality is that he didn't set the culture. He didn't hold players accountable. And like you said, there was not a lot of X's and O's. And we won 17 games. So what he needs to do is sit down with Coach Popovich and learn what it means to develop a culture. Or like you said, bring an assistant in that has seasoned and can help him, direct him to developing his own culture. But yeah, I mean, he's a D. I mean, there's room for improvement. There's a lot of room for improvement, and there needs to be improvement because I guarantee you, Sim, whatever happens with the summer or the draft, if he struggles with the X's and O's and not developing a culture, we have a huge problem on our hands.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I'm looking in the chat. It's kind of all over the place. Edward Davila says C+. Peter Blake says a D. Mike Morgan, C+. Kevon says Fizz gets a D+. Z says a C. Sean Myers has a B+. Famous, D+. Z gives him I think I said Travis Fisher gives him a B. David Jackson gives him a B minus. Travis Fisher says actually a B minus. King and G gives him a B. So, it's a lot. We'll see. Let me see. Guillermo, it's on you. This is your chance, Guillermo. This is your chance.
Fizdale, I gotta, only for the simple fact that, look, the guy they were tanking. So is the coaching up to snuff? This is what we saw with the Grizzlies. No, but they were tanking. So, me personally, if you had to tank, I would give him a D. But because we were tanking, I have to give him a C, because even if you're tanking, you can instill things in this team that will permeate to the future. You still have guys. You have guys like Knox, Mitchell Robinson, Trier, Dotson, guys you're going to pull up to next season. They have to carry the philosophy and mindset that you want them to have. So when guys come in, the role players, right, they see that, oh, there's a system here. There's something to be here. And he didn't do that this year. So I got to give him a C minus. I know we're tanking, but still, you can lay the foundation and still lose and tank and then have it better for next year. Because next year, you're putting all your philosophy into the two stars who are coming in, right. KD and Kyrie, and you better hope that they fit what you want, because they have all the leverage and power, especially amongst your players, because you did nothing this year to say, hey, this is my system. If Kyrie and KD go to the Heat and play with Pat Riley, they're playing within Pat Riley and Spoelstra's system, no matter how great they are. They're playing within Popovich's system and philosophy, no matter how great they are. We didn't establish that. So right. I have to give him a C minus.
Okay. All right. Isaiah? Hold up 1 second. There you go. All right.
Sim, the best thing that Fizdale did this year was play that lineup with Frank, Mitchell Robinson, Dot. I forgot who else it was in there, but that was the greatest. That was the best thing he did. The Fizz Kids, when he ran the Fizz Kids, Sim, I was so proud of Fizdale, because I was like, he finally letting the young guys play and they were doing well. Let me tell you the worst thing he did, and you can agree on this, and I think you will agree, is when he let that lease go so far with a lot of these players. Yeah. When he just said he let the kids play and didn't put a system, that was the worst thing Fizdale did, and I just couldn't get over that, because I was just really shocked and I did not love it, because that just, you could see what happened and what that did. And I will say this too. From this season, you could tell he praised the offensive players versus the defensive players, which I think was seriously wrong. He praised the offense of what these kids could do offensively versus what they could do defensively. And that gave a lot of these players leeway to do whatever they wanted on the defensive line when they suffered. But look, I like Fizdale. Me and Gilmore will talk about Fizdale a lot. And I'm not gonna say fire him. I'm gonna say let him go, because I understand this was a development year. But those things that really bothered me. Really bothered me. I'll give him a C. But that really bothered me what he did this year with those two things. That they really did, and I didn't like that from him. I really didn't.
Okay. You must be tired, Isaiah. I think because you said I didn't really loved it. I mean, you must be tired. OG Mark, coming to you, man.
Cool.
OG Mark, I'm coming to you. Yeah. What do you think, man? Fizdale.
You know what I think about Fizdale?
What's that?
I think about what a lot of these guys were saying on the chat, that he should have to have his old lady at the game, like right there courtside every day, man. I think we deserve that. I think that you should unmute everybody and get this shit rolling, because we look at it like this. We went through a lot this season, and we feel like we deserve it. We'd like to see her in something, contouring her body, and she's a real hottie. We deserve it. But Fizdale, I'm going to give him a C+. I know that we were rocking the tank season. I just think that he's a really good player development type of a coach. And I think, again, it's hard to see what this coach is really capable of until you hand him the keys to the car when you're not. What are we going to say about Fizdale if let's just put our little dream scenario together here real quick, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say that you take Kevin Durant. Let's say that you take Kyrie Irving. So I think that if you take and you put that dream scenario together and you play him, or you have him coaching these type players, I think you're going to see a wonderful record come out, man.
Okay, I hope so.
He deserves it. I mean, he deserves it. I mean, he stuck it out when we were building this business, when we were building this thing out, and now we're gonna pull somebody else in and put somebody in. I think that he's done beautifully this season, and I'm gonna ride with him, man. I'm gonna ride. I can understand some of the disappointment that some of the other people, commentators have made. I can agree with that. But you know what? There's no perfect coach.
Yeah,
there really isn't anymore. You know who's the perfect coach? Steve Kerr. You tell me, would he have been a perfect coach? It came to New York. If that bubble never got burst and he was here. So if you put Fizdale over there and the Golden State Warriors and he was coaching that team, I think we'd have a whole different bouquet of flowers. So it's all relative, baby. It's all relative.
All right. Who's Mark?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah.
Fizdale.
You hear me?
Yeah,
you hear me? Oh, okay.
Fizdale.
I'm in between C+ and C- because number one, the players that we had was too inconsistent enough to, let's say, run certain things consistently. Because if you watch, they'll run it sometimes and they'll stop running it. So it's due to inconsistent players.
Okay.
My only thing, when people say he don't X and O's, I think because everything, I watched him when he played for Grizzlies. And if you watch what Miami Heat did, everything he's going to run when he get talent is everything that Miami Heat been doing for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
All his sets, all his defensive schemes, all his philosophy is there. And what I love about him is that he can command men. That is the most important thing because these players listen. It's not like they don't listen to him. When you watch the bench, they're playing from they played hard, but they're just inconsistent players right now. They're lacking a lot of things that they don't have right now. So it's kind of hard to judge him, but my big thing I love about him is that he gets the attention of these players. Because if he didn't, these players would do what they want. They wouldn't be improving. They would just do what they want. They would just like a team that's just out for themselves.
Right.
So we have to give him a chance.
So what
for right now? So I'm gonna give him a C-, so just a C- because he couldn't implement what he really wanted to implement because of the inconsistency of the players. That's all.
All right. And I started laughing, Mark, because you said, in between a C+ and a C-. So I thought you was gonna settle in on a C, right? Since you was in between a C+ and a C-. But all right. The middle, there is a middle of a C+ and a C-. Kareem, what are you giving?
Yeah, I would actually, just give a quick summary, give everything context. Starting the beginning of the season, first things first, right? Now that I look back at it, right? I think the Knicks knew Porzingis wasn't staying.
Okay.
So we had to let Tim Hardaway play to show what he can do, to get him off.
Okay.
Think about it. This is the first season in a while where we didn't have any negative things in the media. The radar wasn't on us in a negative light. And the team didn't crumble and turn on each other. You could actually see that they were bonding with Fizdale.
Right.
Now, I do agree with you. He speaks too much at times. Like, he explains things too extensively at times.
Yeah. And
when you do that, you start to shoot yourself in the foot.
Exactly. You start to say things that, sometimes you need to just keep it short, cut it short, say what you got to say and go. Right.
Yeah, because if things don't go as planned, the thing with Porzingis not running, and then Porzingis takes the picture running on the track.
Right. Exactly.
You could have just kept that short and sweet.
Exactly. He's not ready yet. That's it. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Or, whatever. Yeah. So what are you giving him?
I give Fizdale a C.
C? All right.
Yeah, C.
All right. And Yeah, David Fizdale, man. I think David Fizdale has a lot of potential as a coach, and it's hard to say exactly what it is until we get, until he gets some real legitimate players here. So I'm with everybody else. I'm giving Fizdale a C. I think he's a solid C. He has a lot of room to grow. When he gets some players in, he's gonna have a lot of players to grow with, hopefully. So we're gonna see how that goes. All right, we're coming down to the last one, folks. We're going to talk about the front office. And, the front office was busy. And I think they're still busy. We're going to run down just a few things that the front office did, and then we'll give them a grade. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys, I'll run down a few things, keep the comments short. So we can call it a night. I appreciate everyone for staying up with me. I know it's 2:30 in the morning. We didn't get on until about 11:15, but I appreciate it. Scott Perry and Steve Mills. This is what I see with Scott Perry and Steve Mills. They seem to have a vision. Whether or not you agree or disagree with the vision, I feel like Scott Perry and Steve Mills at least have a vision on what they want this basketball team to be. And that means a lot. With whatever you're doing, anything that you're doing, if you have a vision and an idea, then you can start building. And I think that they definitely have a vision for the way that they want this team to be. The moves that they've done have supported that vision. They said, they want to bring in young players that are going to play hard. They never said anything about perfect players. They just said young players that are going to play hard, and they've done that. I believe they've done that. They've brought in young players that have upside and are going to play hard. Prudent deals. They did smart, prudent deals when they made deals. You could see that their deals were thought out, right? They didn't just jump out and just say, boom, we're going to make this deal just because. Like something like, it seemed like Isaiah Thomas was doing that when he was running the Knicks, right? Like he would just get an idea and say, oh, I'm going to do this now. These guys, to me, feels like things are thought out. And they look at their vision and their plan with any deal and say, does this fit what we're trying to do? That's what it feels like to me. That's why I trust these guys. I think they did well with major deals. They did well with the Carmelo Anthony deal. Right? I think they did well with the Carmelo Anthony deal. And with Kristaps Porzingis, I think they did well with Kristaps Porzingis. Right? What happened with the KP deal? They freed up cap space for the summer. They brought back draft picks. They brought back Dennis Smith Jr. And you brought back, which is going to be unsung when you look at this trade in the future, because it's going to be based on what happens in free agency. It's going to be based on what kind of players we get with those draft picks. But let's not forget that DeAndre Jordan came over in that deal and the impact that he's had on Mitchell Robinson. That may be an unsung portion of the trade, a portion of the trade that gets overlooked. Because if Mitchell Robinson goes on to be what many hope and believe that he can be, DJ has a lot to do with it, and it was part of that trade. So kudos to Steve Mills, Scott Perry and Steve Mills for bringing DeAndre Jordan over in that trade. Even though, you had to so that the monies could match and, they wanted to free up the cap space and stuff like that. I get it, but it was the perfect scenario for the Knicks then. The moves that they made were quiet. That was impressive to me. Impressive. To us, it seemed like it was a knee-jerk reaction with KP, when in reality, this thing had been being discussed for months. But for us, it was knee-jerk. But they had the ability to keep it quiet. There's no leaks, no cracks in the foundation, it seems like. And that's a good thing, because it's just good. You know, that way rumors, because when rumors start to get out there and people know that their names are in deals, and then people, different things happen. People want to save face. You know, people want to, they don't want to look bad in the media, all those type of things. Right? So they've been able to keep their moves quiet with no press until it happens, of course. So that KP deal was just like, bam. Carmelo Anthony, the same thing happened with the Carmelo Anthony deal. It's like, boom. And it happened. Right? That's the smart way, the best way to do business. And then, good scouting, drafting. And need I even go any further into that? We discussed earlier our rookies, right? Mitchell Robinson, second rounder. Alonzo Trier, not drafted. And, of course, Kevin Knox. I mean, and right now, people look at Mitchell Robinson and say, well, Mitchell Robinson could have been top 10. But that's very good scouting and drafting by the New York Knicks in the front office. So I'm very impressed with our front office so far. Very impressed with them. And that's why I trust them come this offseason. And I think other people, other players, other executives look at the Knicks right now and say, they got two guys that are running it and they're doing a bang-up job. Bringing in players, bringing in talent, freeing up money, and it's what makes other teams afraid. So now I want to get to the video chat real quick. This is going to be the last one. So this is going to be your last hurrah, guys, because after this, I'm heading on out. All right. So, Kareem, why don't you really quick give me a quick 30-second assessment. Yep, a quick 30-second assessment in your grade.
Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me. I had so much fun, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. I would say, man, Steve Perry looked like a genius with that Porzingis trade. When I first heard that it happened, at first I was somewhat disappointed. But when you look at what we got, think about this. We've always had one or the other. Draft picks, no money. Money, no draft picks. This is the first time in my lifetime where we've had money, draft picks, plus 2 additional draft picks.
Right.
And one trade, not a multi-team trade, one trade.
Right.
A one-team trade. So I don't like, you see that we're going into a good direction. That's why I don't like, Knicks fans need to get over the past.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Because the front office realized that they can't hold on to the past if they want to do their jobs effectively.
Right. Exactly.
And us as fans, we can't hold on to the past either. So I would give the front office a B+.
Okay. All right.
And again, Sim, thanks for having me. I appreciate all you guys. I have fun.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it, man. We look forward to seeing you again.
Definitely.
All right. Mark? Who's Mark?
It was Giannis, but you can't be mad at P because what he did was not wrong.
He ain't paying attention. I'll come back to him. OG Mark, it's on you, OG Mark.
Okay.
Front office, man.
You know, we were just talking about that in the back chat here, and you know, I think that that they did a really good job. I really love the sneaky, stealthy way they went about. I actually forgot about how well they did the Carmelo Anthony trade. I forgot how quiet that was too.
Yeah.
So the hardest thing to do is to keep a secret, man. Can you imagine trying to keep a secret in a city as big as New York City? Exactly. And how those guys really pulled that shit off? That was great, man. And how about Kristaps? He was like, sat in the meeting with him and his brother. I can picture it now. We're here to talk some shit. And then, bam, you want to get traded? Okay. Before his ass hit the door, they had Cuban on the phone, and he was giving him the keys to the vault. Take whatever you need. I love it, man. And DeAndre, this is something that I really want to talk, and I hope everybody in the chat will respond to it. Do you guys guys think that there was something up with this trade with the Mavericks? Because they involved DeAndre Jordan, right? How close is KP and DeAndre Jordan? Rumor is they're pretty damn close.
KD.
And I think it was no mistake. I think that this is another move that these sexy men fucking pulled off for us. And they really delivered, man. They really did. I think we're going to find out that there was more to this DeAndre. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Like him going over to find out what's going on and check out the team, get the vibe, get what's going on.
Yeah,
but I'm that's what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? I think there was something more with that.
All right, just do me.
I'm interested in what the chat thinks.
Try to keep the language cool, man. I know you're getting excited.
Oh, sorry.
All right, appreciate it though. I appreciate it. No, I mean I feel you. DJ and KD are really good friends, so yeah.
There's something up with that.
I mean, and that just goes with the insight that Scott Perry and Steve Mills had. Listen. They look at it and say, "Oh, they're willing to trade K. They're willing to trade DJ to us. He gives us his money.
Right.
His contract comes off the books. He's a great mentor for Mitch Robinson. He's friends with KD. I mean,
he's delivering.
You know, so that's great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Absolutely,
right,
man.
So what grade do you give him?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give them a B plus. I want to give them an A plus, but KD. And, we don't have our free agents here yet. And I'm not going to say it's going to be a failure if we don't get top shelf free agencies or even second tier. Like you were talking about some shows ago back, I'm solid with the foundation that they've taken the time to build, you know? And I think that we're going to get a chance to build something special.
Okay, cool. All right. Isaiah?
Yeah. Look, Sam, he been coming at me all day. I don't like it. We got to settle this like men on the court.
Oh, yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
We got to get a game to 15 first.
That's definitely going to happen. You don't have to worry about it.
We got to do what we do, man, because I don't like this tonight. I don't like this energy with me tonight, man. I don't like it. I don't know what I did to you.
I mean, sometimes you make it easy, so.
Nah, man, you know how it is, man. It's always love, though. Hey, man, I'm so ready for this hip hop channel, man. Everybody subscribe to that. It's gonna be. You said Thursday, right?
Thursday. We're gonna do the first one Thursday, man.
It's gonna be so much fun, everybody. We talking hip hop.
It is.
Got a lot of sayings. Can't wait for it, man. But you know what, Sim? I'm so happy that we got this front office, man. I really do. I love Scott Perry. You know, Steve Mills. I give Steve Mills his credit right now. He's doing his thing. Listen, I want people to understand, and the media won't say it, but I know you will say it. If we don't get these guys, it's not a failure. The front office has set us up that even if we don't get these guys, we are still fine. We have never been put in a position like this before where we will be fine either way.
Right.
I want people to realize that if we don't get the guys, we are completely fine. The media won't say it. I know you'll say we're fine, but trust me, we'll be fine if we don't get the guys.
Yeah.
That's why I trust this front office, because they set us up to put us in position we can do the waiting game. We could take on bad contracts and get draft picks and stock up draft picks. We could take that route. So
can do a lot.
Scott Perry has done a phenomenal job. I'm tired. I don't know if I said that right. He's done a great job to set us up for a future where either or we'll be fine. This isn't 2010 where the front office pretty much just said, "Oh, we got to spend it. We have to spend it." No. This front office has said multiple times that if we don't get the guy, if we don't get the guys, we're gonna spend this money wise. They're gonna probably do 1-year deals and take care. Get draft picks, take the bad contracts, get draft picks. I love what we can do, man. We have so many options. You got to give Scott Perry and Steve Mills, and you got to give James Dolan an A+ for this season. My opinion, we got to give him an A+.
All right. That's A for him, A+. All right, let me get over here.
Hey, I'm going to bed, Sim. I'm going to bed, man.
All right, peace.
I'll talk to you later, man.
Peace. Wormo?
I give this front office a solid B, man. B with complete. And then because it depends on who we get next year and how we use that money. Like Mark said, I'm all fine for not just spending the money to spend it if we don't get KD and Kyrie, but obviously we're gearing up for them. And if those guys come, obviously the tank will be worth it, even though I still have my things on Fizdale and building philosophy, all that stuff, blah, blah. But the KP trade, at first I was a little against it, but then I realized it was actually a great trade given how KP and his brothers work. And the knee injury and all that stuff. I think they could have done a better job trying to showcase some of the talent on his team to try to trade some pieces. I think we failed with getting guys like Vonleh to the Sixers or to any other team that could have wanted him. Maybe people didn't want him, but I just thought we could have done a better job trying to build these guys' stats to make them look good and trade them off. But the KP trade, I guess, got rid of some big contracts, especially Tim Hardaway, big ass contract. So I give him a solid B. I think it was a good. And also the draft. I thought the draft this year. I give him a B+ because the draft I thought was bang bang. And the Mitch Robinson pick could be one of the best. Could be one of the top underrated picks for a while. So I give him a B+ with an incomplete.
All right. Nate, real quick.
I'll say this about the front office, that even though we don't have a Greg Popovich at coach, they are running like the Spurs organization, the front office, because what the Spurs do is they draft well, they find talent, they sign smart deals. And that's exactly what the Knicks are doing. So they're building that kind of culture. And on top of that, nobody's talked about how they got players from the G League and brought them up, and how they built the G League up to have these developmental players that they could bring up to the NBA at certain points. I think they did a phenomenal job with that, and they've drafted well. The KP deal was outstanding. I got to give them a solid B+, man. Okay. I'm really pleased what this organization has done.
Okay, that's all right. I'm with you. And last but not least, who's Mark?
Holiday.
Who's Mark?
They're gonna when Anthony Davis get traded. Okay.
It's all you.
I'm coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Front office, man.
Okay. Okay. Remove Mills from all this. This is all Scott Perry's doing. Okay? This is all Scott Perry's doing. Remove Mills. Mills is just the president.
Turn that down.
But Mills is the guy.
Turn that down in the back.
Huh?
Can you turn that down?
My bad. My bad.
Sound like you're watching Alfred Hitchcock or something.
Yeah. Yeah, my bad. I was watching Transformers, but.
Oh, Transformers.
Mills.
Okay.
Yeah. Scott Perry's the guy, because I was just talking in the chat. I'm going to give him an A+ just because he wouldn't have made the trade. Because remember when I was harping on KD's not going to come here by himself? Because we had enough to get rid of one max, right?
Uh-huh.
There was a way. But when he made the second, when he was able to clear the cap, it's a done deal, man. So he gets an A+ because he got the best player in the league. He got the best player, and another guy's going to come with KD. Because if I don't think KD's going to come here by himself. So, and I think Kyrie's going to come, because what people are misinformed about, KD never asked to go to Boston. He got traded. It's a big difference when a player gets traded, because he talked about wanting to be a free agent, just like Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis goes somewhere else other than New York or LA, he's going to be a free agent. Yeah. And when Kyrie said he wanted to test the market, it's a reason, because that wasn't his teams. When a player say these are the 4 teams who I would want to play for and give them time to put pieces around me, that's a team. Boston ain't for him. He's just not a Boston guy. And when he made that move for KD, because he wouldn't have made the trade with Porzingis, but it just made it more easier because he know KD and another star's gonna come. So he gets an A just for doing that. Even if we don't have the players here, he just gets an A. I'm not even gonna mess with that, because you do that deal if it's Kyrie and KD if you want to win a championship.
Yeah. Right
now, and those are the guys right now. Those are the guys that's going to get you to the promised land, because there's no one else right now that you could say that can go against KD. KD's the guy that everybody. He's the domino. The way the landscape is at the NBA, he's the domino. When all this happens, the NBA is going to be changed forever.
Yeah,
he's the domino. It ain't LeBron. LeBron is done. Where it's going to be his, where the team is going to embrace him the way he want to be embracing Golden State, but it ain't never going to happen. And if he wins here, Sim, he's that confident that he feel like he can win here. That's what I respect about him.
Yeah, I feel you.
If he wins here, that Cleveland ring, that won't even be thought about. That won't be even thought about. And he knows if he does that here, he trumps LeBron. Everything that he's doing right now is trying to trump LeBron. He's trying to get LeBron up out of here. He's tired of it.
Yeah.
So Scott Perry, just signing Scott Perry. Scott Perry is the guy that's going to get KD in the door because he drafted him and surrounded play. KD trusts Scott Perry because look at what he drafted and what put around KD in his first years there. And then KD can go to management and talk to Scott Perry. That's important. KD wants to be treated like he's a business partner, not just a player.
Yeah.
Those guys, these guys today, they want to be business partners. LeBron, he's an entity. Kevin Durant is becoming an entity.
Yeah.
So now that we have Scott Perry here,
all right,
it's
man.
an A. It's an A plus, man. It's an A plus.
All right. Well, look,
it's an A plus, man. He does it militant.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
I like private. No drama. I don't want none of that here. So he gets an A for keeping everything in house.
All right. Well, look, Mark, I'm about to head out for the night. All right. I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you, man.
Mark, Nate, everybody that was on, Guillermo, everybody that was in the chat, the YouTube chat. I'm heading out. Mark gives him an A plus. I agree. I'm giving him an A because obviously the job is incomplete, but I'm giving them an A. They've done a great job. I think the front office has done a great job so far. And they even bring in Patrick Ewing to represent the Knicks on May 14th, which hopefully reverses the curse. You know what I mean? Hopefully it reverses the curse. That's going to be a great, great thing if it happens. You know what I mean? But Scott Perry, Steve Mills, the front office, they get an A from me. I think they've done a great job so far. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out for the night. Make sure you join the hip hop channel, the Front Stoop. I just put the link in the YouTube chat. Make sure you join that before you log off. Subscribe to it. This Thursday it debuts. All right, we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be fun. Subscribe to it so you can get the notification to let you know when I'm going live. But I'm out. Thank you guys for staying up with me, man. We've been on for 3 hours and 38 minutes. I didn't think it was going to take this long, but when you're talking Knicks, what can you do? All right, 3 hours and 38 minutes we've been on grading the Knicks. I mean, good job by everybody. I appreciate you guys. And I'm out because I got to get up 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? I'm out. I will catch you guys. When am I going to catch you? Today is Saturday. I'm going to catch you guys on Monday. And on Monday, we are officially going to kick off the off season. We're going to break down the salary cap. It's going to be official. We are officially going to kick it off. All right, so peace. I'll catch you guys Monday. Make sure you subscribe to the Nothing But Knicks. Make sure you subscribe to the Front Stoop. The link is in the video chat right now. I'm going to put it in the description as well. Peace.